Yes, people, good morning to you all. I hope you're all living the blue life. Apologies again, our technology can be very quirky, and on this day, it really did punish me severely. But again, the good thing is that the good thing is that again we're again up and running. Yeah, it took time, but I'm able to get it done. That's what happens when you do nearly everything by yourself. So yeah, apologies again, but we're live. And that's the most important thing. So let me go straight to getting what you have in the chat already. Quite a lot, and this shows yeah we've really become a community over time. Even though we're having a problem, the conversation still went on in the chat. So thank you. You people are absolute legends. I cannot thank you enough for carrying on, even though we were experiencing issues. So that's by the way we move on straight away. What do we have? As always, Liam Lane. Okay, Blue Blood. Sorry again. Morning. Please subscribe and like the stream. Yes, thank you so much. That's very important. If you haven't, that you arrive, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe if you haven't. Morning to you too. Again, hi again, Clement Akpan, my Niger brother. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. We're 35 likes already, even though we had a very again, shaky start. But you guys are legends. Thank you, RMTV. Hi, how are you? And blue morning to Liam Lane. As usual, please guys keep liking the stream. We can still make up for the again lost time because we can. So thank you so much. Keep liking the stream once you come in and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Blue morning to you too. And yep, always blue. Thank you so much for showing that there. Nice again, Musa 2254 TV. Musa Dangwana, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. RMOA, morning to you too. Hello, coach. I'm back, says Chavon Igwe. Igwe, welcome back. I'm Chris Bontang. I don't think Chelsea will do a panic buy this time. I don't think we will. This guy out, they understand the long term again suffering that we'll go through if we like if we go again if we ever do a panic buy again such as again the Deadwood situation and all that. We don't want to get make such mistake. The rest assured, if they let any club again take any player from us, it be because maybe they have other options that they probably feel like will be better suited for the current project than the player in question. Romeo Lavia is good, but I don't want Chelsea to buy this type of midfielders. Should wait for summer if they don't get their target. Good suggestion, but Lavia is still 19. Correct me if I'm wrong, so he fits the project quite well, and he's a good player. He's already winning mentality. He's got it. He's won the Premier League. He won the Premier League with Manchester City and all that. And pardon me again, that's bad spelling there. I was in a frantic moment that time trying to get things fixed. But that's by the way, again, I hate Arsenal just because we hijacked Modric now. They've just put in a bid for Caicedo for 60 million. Here's what I want to say. If we really want Caicedo, the rest assured we're getting him. So if we're letting them take Caicedo, to me, it simply means we're not serious about Caicedo. Maybe that means we're gonna go all in for Enzo Fernandez. Yeah, that's how I'm seeing it. Because I again, I don't see the possibility of us signing Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo the same window. So if Arsenal ends up getting Caicedo, to me it simply means we're going all in for Enzo Fernandez, or maybe for some other midfielder we don't know we've been looking at, and a good one at that. I wouldn't mind Ismail Benessa, which has always been my number one choice. But that's by the way we move on. Problem with Lavia is Man City have a buyback clause. Okay, probably what is called, I think it's called forced, something else called forced refusal. So if they, again, for us to be able to get Lavia, which means Man City will say, okay, we don't want him, just sell him and give us something, give us our share of the spoils clause for him, so they can deny. Yeah, that's so you're correct. Yeah, any transfer that comes until they make the first transfer bid. It makes sense again. Okay, just having a conversation there. Okay, let me see what else we have. Chelsea should go for Enzo. Enzo, a fee of Lorient. He's a great midfielder. Enzo, I don't know him really. You seem to know quite a lot of players, but be rest assured, we'll sign a midfielder this window. Maybe a player we don't know, but probably a player we don't expect. We don't know that the club have been talking to. So let's see what happens. I'm confident. I trust the new owners. They know exactly what they're doing. Arsenal have submitted a bid, 60 million, to sign Moises Caicedo as a new midfielder. I don't think they're selling for that amount. I don't think they're selling for 60 million. If anything, they're selling for around 75, which has always been the price they've been quoting. And plus, they know we're interested. So there's no way they just say, okay, yeah, come take him for 60. I don't see that happening. Just having a conversation. Big up to you too, Santiago Munoz. Again, Santiago Modric. I hope you're doing well. Let me see what else we have here. Anything else? And Smith David says we should not allow Arsenal to have Moises Caicedo. There's a way we go about it, then it will become a bidding war that probably most likely will end up paying more than we should be paying for the player. So yeah, I'm not gonna again. If I happen to be part of those that make the decisions at the club, or that I write the check, I won't go into a bidding war with Arsenal. Yeah, because they're gonna just push the price high, and we'll end up overpaying for a player, paying how much again. We all know the player isn't worth paying. Isn't worth. If that makes any sort of sense to you, Bottom Lambeka, it's been a while, brother. I hope you're doing well. Afternoon, Coachella, enjoying the stream. Thank you so much. Yep, again, I appreciate that, even though we had a very seriously shaky start, because we weren't able to start until after 30 minutes or so. Big up, Coachella. We got a midfielder. Or right back yet. Nope. But the rest assured, at least a right back by the time the transfer window shuts. I'm not really concerned, but I get your concerns, really. Or the project still focused on luxury forwards. If that's how you see it, and you have every right to argue that, given that we haven't brought in players that we can clearly say these players will help us solve the issues we'll have, the apparent issues we're having right now. Again, I'm a scout for my local team. Again, Baldock, a town coach. Oh, now I know why you know these players that well. Good afternoon, coach. Again, following you again live from Liberia this afternoon. Mark James, welcome to the show. And please, if you're watching, make sure you're dropping the likes on the stream. Let's get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. And also, again, if you can, do share the stream to every Chelsea fan you know that would be interested in the topics we're discussing here, to help the community grow. And really, what happened this month in this show, yes, we'll become a community. We've grown past the channel. We're having technical issues, and you people were enjoying yourself, having conversations between yourselves. That made me so happy. I appreciate that. And Bailey says Brighton rejected Arsenal's 60 million bid. Thank you. David Onstein. So that shows again, probably we may well go in and say, okay, this is you wanted to sell him for 75, take the 75. That is, if he's our priority. But again, to me, Enzo will be again the midfield that we want. But we also want a more defensive, a more physical midfielder, a more defensively minded midfielder, such as again Caicedo. But let's see what the club does. Enzo, again, much cheaper than any midfielder in this window. He's very talented he's very talented midfielder with pace, dribbling skills, and good passing ability, but not much creative than Enzo. Yep, I agree with you. Lyon is apparently looking for a replacement for Gusto, so I think Gusto is coming. Here's the thing. They have a problem at hand. If they don't sell now, I think he ends up living on a free. Correct me if he becomes a free agent. Correct me if I'm wrong. What's the other one again? I think they have to sell him now. And the player wants to leave. He's agreed personal terms with us. He doesn't. He's not considering. He's not considering. He's not considering staying back. Again at Lyon, if that makes any sort of sense. So yeah, we're moving from that one. I'm not concerned. I think we'll get him this window. It's a huge risk if they decide to keep him. I hope that makes any sort of sense. Let me see what else we have here. What up, coach? Again, I came in a bit late. Hope you're well. I'm well. Victor Ogunbajo. We actually started late. I haven't spoken for up to 10 minutes right now. We started late. We had technical issues. Couldn't use my system. It froze. A brand new system. That's the confusing aspect. Maybe too much installations like apps and all that. That's what's causing the problem. But we're up and running, so we're good. I'm not seeing Chelsea too much busy this few days on the transfer market. We have how many days left? It's about like 4 days left. I think we're still it's still a lot in the transfer market, and I think we'd get a lot done if that means anything to you. Here we have again. We are 400 million in and still haven't addressed the glaring problems. Everybody is concerned. The fans, again, the average fan knows. Again, we have issues we should be sorting out right now, and they feel like the club aren't doing enough. I think they are, and I'm so confident that they will sort out the issues, because it wouldn't make any sort of sense if the transfer window shuts and we end up and it becomes and we'll look back and say, wait, what did we just do? We spent all that money and end up not solving any of the issues we've been having. If we did not get the target we want, then we go for those of Lavia and Onana and Stephen again from Ghana. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Abina, here's the thing. I think Lavia is actually a good player. I think Onana is a good player. But again, probably because he played in a team like Everton, there's a chance we haven't seen the best of the player himself. If you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Even if you're watching and you're not able to participate in the chat, please do us a favor and drop a like on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Again, AJ Benjamin, following you from Nigeria. Thank you so much, my Niger brother. I appreciate that. For anyone on iOS, there's a heart icon. If you click it, a small pop-up menu of different icons appears. And if you hit the heart icon, you will see a heart floating up on the screen. Yep, you should do that, please. It does go a long way. Again, his contract runs out this year. Yeah, so I don't see them truly risking keeping him for the sake of it. Why they can just get 30 million plus? I don't see that happening. Yes, keep the blue flag flying high, says Bobby, and smash the like button if you haven't. Thank you so much for all the love you've shown. Is Enzo deal done now? Question, please. I don't know. Not sure. Nothing is done. What I'm hearing is that we're planning on going back with an improved offer, but let's see if we do that. What do you think about Nunes? You mean the Nunes, the one that ends with an S? I think he's a fine player. The rumors are we were looking at him last summer. What happened? I don't know. Potter can make Enzo fee. Enzo Lee can feed that player he wants. He's capable of doing that. He's a good coach in terms of nurturing a player to become better. He's done that. What are they waiting for? Can we just only need Enzo now and nothing else? Like I said before, again, I didn't expect us to sign Enzo and Caicedo this same window, given again the prices that their respective clubs have been quoting. So maybe if we let Arsenal take Caicedo, which means we'll go all in for Enzo. If we don't sign a midfielder, it's not the end of the world. But seriously, I don't want to see a Caicedo at Arsenal. Yeah, that's the Chelsea fan in you. Speaking, a big up to Bobby, big up to Roger. Roger, any thoughts on the news that we're hearing that this is Fabrizio Romano exclusive? Arsenal have submitted 60 million bid to sign Moises Caicedo as a new midfielder. Chelsea had an offer of 55 million pounds verbal proposal rejected this January, as Brighton hoped to keep the player, but Arsenal are now pushing. Negotiations enter into key stages for Caicedo's future. So now Arsenal, again, they're really progressing, but I don't see Brighton selling him for anything less than the 75 million they've been quoting. And that, again, that's especially true given the fact that they know that we're also interested in the player. But Roger, your thoughts? And big up to you. I hope you're doing well. And Bobby, same to you. I hope you're doing well, brother.
Hey, thank you, gentlemen. Good afternoon, good morning to you both.
Thank you, brother.
I'm feeling better today. Thank you.
Awesome.
So good show yesterday. I couldn't join the show. I was in too much pain, but I listened as always, and I liked.
Sorry to hear that, but glad to know that you feel better today.
So that's a little bit worrisome, gentlemen, about Arsenal pushing for him. Arsenal are obviously a very good team currently, but they lack depth. And I think based on the fact that UEFA, in their wisdom, and I say that most facetiously, wish to put a limit to any form of amortization for any contract to 5 years, then I think it behooves us that we push for this gentleman, even at, let's say, 75 million golf balls, and sign him, because it's a win-win. It's not that we get an added valuable player, but we also, how shall I put this? We hijack Arsenal's depth, their pursuit of adding a good player that hasn't reached his potential yet. So it's a win-win in that regard. Sounds selfish, but it's just a matter of fact. I don't wish for a club, especially a London club, that can win major tournaments. I don't wish them to succeed, obviously. So if we can negate them from doing so and add to an area that we truly need, I believe it's the second most important position. I think our first is right back. That should be, whatever it takes, get a rotational
just
player.
quickly, again, the person on the microphone currently, his name is Roger. And again, if I don't do that, please, next time you guys remind me. I should be sharing the Twitter handle in the description session so that you can go and follow them. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, I'm the intellectual clown. One of many. I love that. Whoever said that.
Yeah, the beautiful game. I haven't seen him today, but go ahead, brother.
What a classic. What a classic. So I think, listen, this is an area of serious need. It's worrisome. It really is. And, you know, I don't know whether this is just the psychological trauma of it for myself personally, but we only have, 4 days left, and including today, I believe. And Caicedo's growing on me. He really is. Maybe that's because we don't have 2 or 3 weeks left in the window. At first, I was like, is this the chat we really want? But now I'd give my firstborn for him. Sorry, son. Seriously, we need him. And we definitely do not need Arsenal to get him. That's all I have to say on that.
Again, here's the thing. One thing is sure now, except if Arsenal aren't ready to push even more. We're going to get him, but we'll pay more than probably we originally planned to pay for him.
We've been doing that basically from day one with this new regime. We have overpaid for players. No disrespect to our left back from Brighton, Cucurella, but at the time of the purchase, we overpaid substantially for him. But if you can amortize that contract over a longer period of time, it doesn't hurt our salary cap. You know, there isn't such a thing as a hard salary cap as of yet. So there's one thing I learned this week. I assumed, just like the NFL, that when a player was cut, let's say I'm a wide receiver and I have a 5-year contract and I only have 3 years left, and you cut me, I don't get the rest of my salary. That's it. It's like being sacked. Not, you know, but here in the Premier League or UEFA, I assume that if like, let's say we cut, God forbid, an 8-year contract. Who did we just sign for an 8-year contract? Was it Mudryk? And let's say we cut him, he gets 8 years worth of salary. So I didn't know that. That's the difference. So there's subtle differences between the British and the American sports, I guess. But it's imperative that we get these players. Yes, we're going to overpay them, coach. But you know, we can afford it right now. And don't forget, in 2-3 years, just like N'Golo Kante, 30 million at that time, it felt obscene. But now look at it. You can't get a water boy for 30 million.
Yeah, again, let's see what the club does. But one thing is sure, I'm going to say this again. I don't see the club getting him and getting Caicedo and Enzo this window. It's either of the two, but let's see what they do.
You don't think the current regime will push now, say, you know what, we want him for 75. You don't think we have? I think we have.
It depends on their priority, because there are rumors out there that the club are still looking to go back for Enzo Fernandez. You get my point now.
Sure. May I ask a question? Because of this window of opportunity, where it's the last window where we can have elongated contracts. Don't you think it behooves the Vivell, Winstanley, and the owners to push for these two players to get them both? If this project is to really acquire top players to win in the future and win now, let's see how many bullets they have in this, transfer revolver. Let's see how much ammunition they have. Let's see how serious they are, because this will curtail them going forward after this window.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Let me get what we have in the chat. I want to bring Bobby in. Arsenal beat was already rejected, so it's a good sign there. Who's on the microphone? I've told you his name. His name is Roger. And Roger, if you can change your name to your Twitter handle. When I showed your name, it was showing just Roger. If you can change it to your Twitter handle, use it. People can pick it up like that when I share that. Again, let's see. Can Chelsea should sign both Edson and I'm sure you're talking about Edson Alvarez and Enzo Fernandez, and forget Moises Caicedo. Edson Alvarez, he's not that costly. Big up, Coach Bobby Roger. Glad to see you off the physio bench and back in training.
You don't want to Roger, see that. You do not want to see me in training.
That one is for you.
Much appreciated, Old Bean.
Yeah, you're off the treatment bench again and back on the training pitch. That's, by the way, thank you so much to the beautiful game. I appreciate that, my brother. Again, we can also go for Nunes, the Wolves midfielder, but I think they should accept the Chelsea offer for Enzo, because apart from Chelsea, they will not get that kind of money. Plus, this great player. Here's the thing. I get your argument. In the summer, there will be a lot of a lot of parties again interested in vying for his signature, and probably they'll get more. Actually, our midfield is absolute. Yeah, I get it. They're going to read that one. Trust the recruitment team in place. So far, he doesn't have us. He doesn't have us on it. Again, let's not forget General Kante. We want a Romeo Lavia, so let him breathe a little. So let's see what happens there. Again, we want quality, not quantity. That makes perfect sense. If we can get rid of some of these players that want to leave, then I have a feeling all that money will go towards the Enzo fund. Or again, we have some players on the market already. Girona, and again, somebody else did talk about this particular player. I haven't taken my time to research him. It must be really good. I think I see my friend also, Vince. I think if you're following Vince on Twitter, you must have seen him talk about Alex Garcia. He's as good as Enzo, but nobody I see because he is playing for Girona. If we can get him, okay. But we don't know if the club, again, if the hierarchy, if they're looking at him or not. Are we all just drunk of spending? When has Chelsea had a good experience with long contract? We just again bought injury-prone forward on a 7-year contract, and we are sharing this. Again, a clever trick. Here's Bobby. Can you? I'm sure you're talking about Madueke. Can you show me something that proves it's injury-prone? Because a lot of people have talked about that, and nobody has provided anything that says, okay, here's the proof. And I really want to see that. Bobby, if you're there, I want to get your thoughts on the Caicedo situation. And greetings to you, by the way.
Hi, Coach.
Hello, Bobby.
Roger, I hope you're recovering well.
Thank you, sir.
I think these last few days of this transfer window is going to throw up, I won't say some surprises, but, things are going to have to happen. And the good thing is that we're not really sure what those things are, which really slaps in the face of those that say, oh, Chelsea talk too much. They let everybody know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they do at all. I think they are working hard on something. The midfield situation is clearly requires fixing. I don't know. People are talking about this Garcia guy. I don't particularly know who he is.
Yeah, a lot of people have mentioned his name, but go ahead.
Yeah, and there's talk of like Nunes and Lavia, and there's so many midfield discussions out there. And one thing's for sure is that Chelsea are discussing with various midfielders. I'm very interested about this Arsenal bid. I think that's where the issue of 100 million came in, because once another side comes and is prepared to go into a bidding war, then of course the selling club can set their price. Very funny that, because Arsenal were saying that they don't do bidding wars and that, then all of a sudden they've come in with what I just call a revenge bid. Somehow they feel their PR is dented over the Madrid thing. They are one of the establishment clubs and with the establishment media, so they look for every Chelsea target to see if they can hit back. And this is what mainly this is about. Now, do we come in with a bid? There's a lot of talk that, certainly if you listen to Ben Jacobs, that if Chelsea came in with about 75 million, that they'll walk away with Caicedo. Probably at this point, anybody, if they come in with 75 million, will walk away with him. Because that is vastly overpriced. Now, it depends on who's really prepared to go that far. For Chelsea's case, have they got enough confidence that he's worth that sort of financial gamble, and he'll help solve a large part of the problems we have in midfield? And in Arsenal's case, well, how much are they ready to pay for revenge? Because they're not as desperate for midfielders as Chelsea, so it's just a revenge purchase. I don't know. I think we will see things that will maybe not surprise us, but will startle us as the transfer window starts to come to an end this January 1. I don't know. Nobody knows what business Chelsea's going to do now. All we're hearing of is the obstacles. Gustav, obstacles, Enzo, obstacles.
But Bobby, don't you want to see us really be aggressive based on the limitations that UEFA are applying next summer?
Well, I'm going to come to that. I think we're trying. If you notice, I don't know if you saw some of the posts I did, and
I did.
I'm one of the few Chelsea fans that is very focused on the media and establishment attacks on the club. I think that should form a lot of our discussion, rather than all this constantly talking about Mount and Havertz and all the nonsense.
I totally agree with everything you sent me, Bobby. Totally concur. Shocking as it may sound.
No, I got your DM, and it's logical. But anyway, I don't want to detract yet on that. But I think we are being aggressive. We're being aggressive intelligently. We know we've got a target on our back. So if we come out too openly, they will find a way to either make it more difficult, gang up on us. They're targeting
and
Chelsea.
Even Brighton will exploit that desperation, because it becomes desperation if you come out swinging.
Yeah, they'll raise prices. Look what Benfica's doing. Not only are they now talking the get out clause, but they're talking of passing over the tax payments to Chelsea. If they want to activate that. So everybody's looking at exploitation. And of course, this plays right into the hands of our detractors, whose main objective, don't ever deceive yourself to think it's otherwise. Their main objective is to see that Chelsea don't strengthen, don't become that club that sits at the top. And they want to pull the club down. But what they want and what they're going to get are going to be two entirely different things.
They're gun shy, Bobby, because 20 years ago, a Russian billionaire came in and spent what was then aggressively and built a quote unquote mini dynasty.
Yeah.
that over the next 2 decades won more silverware than any other club. And they're worried that, okay, this is a conglomeration of people that have worked in sports, albeit American sports. They know what they're doing. They have a track record proven, and they have a lot of golf balls in their pockets. They're wealthy, and they're willing to spend, and they're worried collectively. We're talking about the top 6, and you're looking at the top teams in Europe. They can smell blood in the water, and it's their blood.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're worried.
Definitely. There is a consensus to block
definitely.
Chelsea.
Yes.
All right, let me catch up with what we have in the chat before it grows too much.
Sorry.
What do we have here? Just give me one second. Sorry?
I hadn't quite landed, but about the
Caicedo. Go ahead. I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
But just to conclude, so I don't hold you up, it's just I still think that don't be surprised if all of a sudden Chelsea just decide to make a move for the guy. They're still in a very strong position, mainly because of they have access to Brighton, Paul Winstonley, and Graham Potter and a lot of his coaching staff still have direct links there. So if the financial side is right, the rest should follow quite easily. Depends on whether the club think it's worth that high level of investment.
Yeah, all right. Just give me 1 second here. I'll be back. Let me see what we have, and let's get what we have in the chat here. I think he's on about Madueke. Yeah, I recognize. I know Bobby Fairview very well. The way he spoke, and I think he's also spoken about him a few days ago. So I realized immediately he was talking about Madueke, but I haven't seen any proof that shows Madueke is really injury prone. But that's fine. We will move on from that. I wish the coach and the recruitment team is here with us, because the Enzo deal has to be again. Okay, I know that's not. I know that's not the word you meant. Your phone probably helped you spell that one. Has to be wrapped up.
Oh, geez.
I'm sorry.
No, I get it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It happens to all of us. Is the phone. Chelsea must work quick to avoid a hijack from all the teams. Again, but Madueke's injury list is basically all muscle problems, which he can sort out if he puts the time in. And plus, again, I don't think the club will pay that much money without some research on their part, asking the medical team, do you think this is something that this player, a particular player, can overcome? Isn't Nani injury prone? You're asking me. You're the one that told us it's an injury prone, so I want to see proof. That's what I'm asking. Modric probably hasn't played enough for us now to know. The issue is the length of the contract. We will regret this. There's no guarantee we'll regret it. One thing, if you put it this way, just like Declan did, it can go either way. It can go either way, and it's a risk worth taking. It's as simple as that. These players are still young. If it doesn't work out, you'll find a way to move them on. There will always be people willing to pay for them. Yes, people, please keep liking the stream. We're at 73 likes right now. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. Thank you for all the support. And please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Enzo is the only way forward for Chelsea as a CM. Let's see. Good day, my beautiful Chelsea family. Hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good day yourself. And again, you know what to do. I'm not going to be talking about that every day. If I see it, I'll read it. But much love to you, brother. I do miss you on the stream. Our club is owned and managed by a group of people who have never won anything in football. Before Roman became our owner, has he won anything in football? I want you to answer that question sincerely to you, sir. Bobby, I love you, and I like it when I see this sort of comment, because it makes us, again, put head together and come to a sensible conclusion. But all we're talking about is faith in them. Yeah. Did you, when Roman took over, even if he owned the club, what did they win? The first time he won the Champions League as a club owner was in 2012. That was the first. That's the first for everything. And here's the thing. I'm going to say this also in terms of structure. I have confidence in the particular structure of our club as a consortium. We'll never see a situation where you say there's a sanction on Chelsea Football Club because of a single individual. That single individual will be voted out. I'm sure that's very possible. So again, so big up for bringing up such, again, adding such contributions. It helps us think. It will be too late when you work. I don't think you will. And remember, I told you that. Before a player will consider coming to Chelsea next season, firstly, they will also consider our position in the table. Yep, we've talked about that again at length. That is why we need to do all the needful now. There is a trick to beat FFP. Here, I get it. The trick is there. But remember, there's this saying that says the last little load that broke the camel's back. Okay, you can say 8-year contract here, 8-year contract here to many players, and all of them you get to pay a certain amount every year. And that's times by 10, it bulks up gradually. So yeah.
Straw, yeah.
Sorry?
It's the final straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's another way to phrase it. To be honest, I don't know, again, much about Enzo guy, but whoever, again, he is, I hope he lives up to his true potential. That is, if we sign him, again, I hope he does well too, wherever he is. And he's doing quite well for Benfica. I think we have a gem in Modric. Yeah, everybody knows that. To me, again, he's different from Hazard, and I have to take my stand to starting him before, again, if I'm analyzing that, so that I'm not just throwing stuff at you from anywhere. That is why Roman, again, when went and hired coaches that won things. He hired some coaches that haven't won anything. He hired, what's his name, that didn't win anything. Again, he hired, okay, he won something before he hired him. I was going to talk about Villas-Boas, but there are other coaches. But how about our own legend? He was our player before he got the opportunity to become our manager. He won us the first Champions League, didn't he? So that's a first for everything. If that makes any sort of sense to you, and let's not rush into buying players. Apart from the Reece James position, I think the midfield is not bad. Just injury. Here's the thing: they're not going to rush. Whatever they're doing right now is that it will be data driven. That's for sure. They don't want to spend that much money and then end up regretting it in the near future. If that makes any sort of sense to you. Here again, are we looking at Reece James's challenger? Yeah, we are, seriously. And that's Malo Gusto with Lyon playing hardball, again, trying to get us to pay more money, or trying to, even if we sign him, they get to keep him until the end of the season. But we don't want that to happen. It wouldn't make any sort of sense. We'll move on from that one. Some updates here, two things here from Liam Lane, and thank you for that update. It says Chelsea are thought to be planning a bid for Caicedo, according to quoting Sam Jean. Is that Sam J. Dean and Telefootball? And this one here says Moises Caicedo is prepared to hand in a transfer request. A player considering options. Arsenal are set to return with an improved offer, but their actions could see Chelsea start to accelerate. If we really want him, I think that will push us to move quick. And I think we have a good relationship with Brighton, a good enough relationship to say, hey, we want him. Joseph won the Champions League, and he was romance for stress. Fine. Again, Chelsea is not the club for people to have their first experience. We are not Brighton. We're not a training ground. We win things. Yeah, all those, again, those are legit arguments. But given the situation, I don't think there's a chance Thomas Tuchel would have been the man to wait for us to sign all these young players and make it a project. Here's what I see the vision, if that makes sense. I see the plan is for us to, again, when things everything fall into place, we dominate. We dominate for a while. The success will come in bit by bit. Let me use, I think, Roger, the last time I used the word patches, he nearly punched me some. I get the vision. And again, these guys are smart guys. And believe me, Bobby, you will let us say, yeah, oh, okay, you know what? It's working. And I know you'd be sincere enough to look back and say you were wrong. We're not, again, I get that. All those things are legit arguments. I don't believe the midfield is bad also, but it definitely needs more attacking creativity. That's the truth. If we can buy if we can play a more offensive football, we will defend less. So again, no rush into buying midfielders. We got Mudryk and Felix who can keep the ball. It's about offensive play. It's not even Enzo. If not Enzo, will struggle. Okay. Di Matteo was hired by Roman and went on to win the Champions League. Yep. Thank you so much for reminding me that was the guy I was looking for. Again, Di Matteo, Gusudink won anything. Gusudink, I wouldn't risk saying he hasn't won anything before he came to Chelsea.
Avram Grant only won in the Israeli league, I think. Avram Grant.
Did he win anything with us?
He got us to the final, but he has no proven track record in Europe.
Yeah.
Before coming to us.
Yeah, even though some will come out and say it was the players he wrote on the back of the squad we had then.
Andres Villa, yes, with big up, Mitchy boy. But Andres Villas-Boas didn't win anything in Europe. I think he won the Portuguese.
No, he won the Portuguese league.
Yeah,
without losing a game.
Yeah, but is it top 5 in Europe? No.
No, but it doesn't matter. It can.
No. I get it.
Thank goodness we have an example. Di Matteo was a perfect example, given the discussion we're having.
Yeah, Avram Grant. Yeah, Avram Grant twice, by the way.
Yeah. Let's move on from that argument, really. Yeah. But go ahead if you have anything else to add to it.
I understand it, the point the gentleman's making, but I also believe that that's not solely quite accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then if you want to look at the actual coaches that have been proven in the Premier League that we've hired, who has actually won the Premier League that we have hired? So when we hired them, it wasn't Glenn Hoddle, wasn't Ruud Gullit, it wasn't Gianluca Vialli, it wasn't Claudio Reyna, it wasn't Jose Mourinho the first time, it wasn't Avram Grant, wasn't Luis Felipe Scolari, wasn't Gus Hiddink, wasn't Ancelotti, wasn't AVB, wasn't Di Matteo. Benitez, I think, did win. Did he win with Liverpool before the league?
And Sarri's first trophy was at Chelsea.
Right. Benitez didn't win the Premier League.
Yeah, but let's say here's the thing. Let's just skip it. Let's just keep it to the managers that hasn't won anything before they join us. The managers that didn't win anything before they joined us. So that is Maurizio Sarri and that is Roberto Di Matteo, and they won stuff with us. So let's just move on from that argument.
But if you want to count, there's only, I think, 1 or 2 that have actually won either the Premier League or the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
When we hired them. One did Ancelotti win a champion? I think he did win a Champions League in Italy
with AC Milan.
Prior to coming to us. And obviously Mourinho the second time had won the Premier League with us previously. Other than that, we haven't hired a coach that has won either the Premier League or the Champions League prior to us hiring them.
Yeah, I said, I wouldn't even go that far to try to prove anything. Yeah, go ahead.
Why in God's name do we need to get somebody who has done this before? It makes, you don't have to have won the Premier League before to be the manager of Chelsea.
Exactly. That's my point.
It's one of the most ridiculous statements I can think of. Arteta's going well with Arsenal.
It's not ridiculous, but I get his point of view.
Well, no.
That's not. I don't even think we should be dwelling on that. He's just dragging us. We've used 2 perfect examples, but go ahead with what you were saying, Bobby.
The new owners are building. Now, if you've ever built a business, like even with you, Coach, building your platform, you've not. I don't believe you've done it before.
No, I haven't.
You're moving on a vision.
Hold on, we're on a platform that he's never done it before. I got to go.
Exactly. You're moving on a vision, and fortune favors the brave. I don't understand this. They've got to get this person because, in fact, to the contrary, sometimes when you get these people that have been there, seen it, done it, got the T-shirt, they are the worst thing you can put in position. Seriously. I don't understand that at all. I really, really don't. It just boils down to the fact that, look, we've got to let these people who have only been in ownership for 7 months after taking over from a very, very difficult situation, you've got to let them cook. You've got to let them cook. And there's criticism, but there's I don't know. It's
This is just
laughable.
dragging us into where we shouldn't be. We're here to talk transfers, really. But go ahead.
Yeah, Go on. Let's
No.
move on.
Yeah, let's move on to transfers. But the majority of the people we've hired in the last 20 plus years, I'm talking about, looks like 75 to 80% didn't win for a fact, didn't win the Premier League, and one or two have won the Champions League. So, but I get
Did
the
Pep
validity.
Guardiola win the Premier League before he came and won?
No, he didn't. See, so exactly.
But if you come into the point of the argument we're responding to is that they haven't. He's talking about managers again that have one stop before they joined us, and we just named those that have 1-0 before they joined us. Sure. We have two examples. We have Maurizio Sarri. We have Roberto Di Matteo. We'll move on from it. I don't think you can argue anything else. Yeah, go ahead.
What is the primary responsibility of Chelsea hiring a head coach / manager? Is it to win the Premier League? Is it to win the FA Cup, the League Cup, or the Champions League? I would say the number one priority would be to get top 4 and win, and if possible, win the Premier League. That is his main primary target. And then to be successful in Europe. I believe that's the general consensus. I've heard talk about this for many years, about different clubs. What is their main goal to win? Like, for instance, Pep. If he had the choice right now to win another Premier League or win the Champions League, he would choose the Champions League. But primarily for Chelsea, it's always to win the Premier League first. So
here's the thing. I've responded.
That was my logic,
again. I understand your argument. We've responded to Bobby's point of view. He has every right, and his points again. That's what Chelsea are known for. We have to win. We go for winners. But in this case, there's a reason why it's a project. Which you don't have usually in this sort of project. You don't get top managers who've won it and done it. They always want to go where they get to start winning immediately. They may have been one of the reasons why they felt like Thomas Tuchel probably isn't the guy for them. And it's happened. But like I said, in response to that, more importantly, Bobby mentioned again the previous owner went for somebody that has won. A manager that has won something before, and we have two perfect examples. Let's move on from it. Sarri hasn't won anything.
Sorry,
go ahead, Roger.
And by the way, what you just said is totally accurate, and Bobby's totally accurate. And also, in conjunction with that, he didn't give those proven winners much time if they had a poor start. He was trigger happy. Let me put it that way. That's what I wanted to say. To reinforce your statement. Sorry.
All right, let's move on from that one. Pick up Coach says again. This is Mitchell Boy saying hello to all the panelists. Again, Brighton have rejected 60 million offer from Arsenal for Caicedo. Yep, thank you so much. Top managers don't go for projects. They want advanced players. We want a young talent. So probably again, they know. Again, I'm not going to start arguing whether that was one of the reasons why Thomas Tuchel was let go or not. That's another discussion for another day. My point remains that Potter has to win something or be again in at least 2 finals this season. Okay. There's only one left, one possible final left to gain the respect of the fans. I get your argument. He doesn't have to really. All we have to see is an improvement. Lots of changes in the team. Means they understand it will take time for the new signings to again start gelling, play as a unit, develop chemistry and all that. Please watch and like, subscribe to Jampot's YouTube channel to help expose more Jamaican football talents, help these youths to have a chance at a better life. Thank you so much. Good cause right there. So please go check it out. Be sure to subscribe and support him. Benitez did. Benitez was a Champions League winner with Liverpool before he joined us. Benitez and Carlo, I think even twice before he joined us. Correct me if I'm wrong. With AC Milan, how many times did he win it? I don't remember. But at least one time. And let me know. It's all about experience, in my opinion. Yeah, experience does go a long way. And again, the winning starts one day. But saying that Di Matteo didn't really have the experience, yeah, but he won. That's my argument. I would, in response, that's just whether he had experience or not before he won that first Champions League for us. My argument to Bobby Fairview, my brother in the chat there, is that, yeah, we've hired managers who hasn't won anything, and they won something for us. But that's another argument for another day. Coach, it's a fraud. I seriously thought he was the second professional with years and years of experience. I'm out.
Exactly my point.
That's hilarious. I hate you. Oh my goodness.
Funny.
You end up hiring the same people over and over again. This is some ridiculous British media argument. Yeah, let's just move on from that. How is someone's point of view ridiculous? There's nothing wrong. Let me catch up with the chat before it grows too much. Please, I'm coming. Nothing wrong in going for someone who's experienced. Nothing wrong in that. I didn't say it's wrong. Never said it was wrong if you were listening. I'm saying it doesn't have to be, that person doesn't have to be experienced or doesn't have to, again, it must not be that the person have won everything there is to win, if that makes any sort of sense to you. The issue is where you guys getting your faith from. Listen, if we go by this logic right now, then again, emerging talents will never get a chance. If that makes any sort of sense. Emerging talents will never get a chance to express themselves, let alone you getting to see them and see they're actually capable of doing something. If we go by this logic of waiting for that person to be experienced, then some people will never get a job in life. So maybe they want to give him opportunity because they see he has the potential to build us a team that plays as a unit, or in a year or two that everybody will fear playing against, if that makes sense. You don't go for track record all the time. Sometimes it depends on your project. Sometimes you just put everything behind. You just forget about track record. Just look at again. Do they have the potential? Maybe that's the situation we have here. Where's the faith coming from? The faith is coming from that again. He did well again, even though the win percentage is 31%. They trust him. I want to move on from this thing really, and I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. IBC, you want to add anything to that? Let's move on since you haven't spoken and you're on the panel. But if you want to add to that, go ahead. So we'll move on from that topic. It's really stopping us from, talking transfers right now.
No, I don't have anything to add. You can move on.
All right, then. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I hope you're doing well. You don't have to win anything before again. Take Tottenham as an example. They had AVB, Mourinho, now Conte. Look at them. The first two didn't win anything, and they hired one that does not even win. Yeah, I get the argument right there. I have said this long ago, and thanks for confirming it for me. There is always a campaign against Chelsea since the leaders of Roma bullied them. Yeah, that's the truth. What else am I missing? Anything here? Potter was doing well before injuries happened. Again, I mean, we have to give him some time. Whether we like it or not, I think he gets the time at least till the end of the season. Would be hilarious if Potter wins the Champions League. Everyone will be praising him. Oh, no, you think? Let's move on. Much love to you too, the Bluetooth again. Thank you so much. We're not, again, a training club. I get that. Again, emerging talent can go on loan to Salzburg and Brighton to learn the game. Okay, if that's how you feel, good. Look, this manager is a sleepy head, and it's not improving the team, in my opinion. We'll all need to observe closely the second half of the season and see if there's any signs of improvement. Yeah, that's it. He has, again, he stays at least to the end of the season.
Yeah, actually, Coach, to be honest with you, the first 10 games or so when we were winning and playing well and drawing, we were not playing well.
And I know you and I know that. So
those results are deceiving. We have actually played well and lost, and we have actually won and played poorly. So results are very deceiving, chaps.
Yeah, it can be. It masked the issues. The issues that we had then. Di Matteo's situation is not similar to Potter, Coach. I'm not mentioning. Again, I'm not comparing them to. I responded to something my brother Bobby Fergie said in the chat. Di Matteo would not have got a chance again if we had time to choose between managers. Well, he got a chance and he proved the point. Eric Ten Hag, hello, yeah. I like that one. And again, I'm able to catch what tune means by trying to read it that way too. Yeah, exactly. Hello,
That's
indeed.
funny.
Todd Boehly to Chelsea. Here we go. Biggest transfer of the season. You could say that. If Nkunku wants to succeed at Chelsea, then we need midfielders that can create for him. I think we'll have those already. This is the latest. What is the latest? Ziyech. Ziyech is on sale. Will be sold. Yes. Yep. I think I've seen that before. Caicedo rejected from bid from Arsenal. CFC negotiations with Benfica. Now again for a big surprise. Wow. Let's see that happen. That is the latest. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of that. Okay, just popping out briefly. Okay, brother, I can see you when you get back. Let's see the items we have lined up here and try to get them quite a lot. I think we've discussed that one there, and we've discussed this one here, and I want us to go for this one. Yeah, I think we've talked about that one, 260 million bid from Arsenal. And this one, yeah, this one I want us to talk about. Chelsea wants 17.5 million for Hakim Ziyech, who is currently the first choice to replace Nicolo Zaniolo at Roma. And believe me, like I said before, Ziyech is Mourinho's type of player.
What
And
did we
he's
buy him
improved.
for, Coach? 32.
Sorry?
How much did we buy him for? 32.
Around that, at least 30 million pounds, but I'm not sure whether it's up to 35 or so. But here's the thing: I think he's Mourinho's type of player because he's capable of, again, helping them orchestrate that blistering counter attack that Mourinho likes. Usually drills his team to be able to orchestrate. He's the man for him. I think he would do well. Plus, he's improved physically. He tracks back quite well. He wins aerial duels, even though he's not the tallest on the pitch. You can see the spirit. And Mourinho will get the best out of a player as him. He needs to just make him feel important, and he will be firing on all cylinders. Unfortunately, I'm still skeptical about him leaving the club, because we haven't signed anybody that I say, okay, that person can do what he's capable of doing. Just let him go. IBC, your thoughts?
Sorry, apologies.
No worries, brother. Big up. And I hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you doing? How's everyone doing?
Hello, IBZ. How are you, sir?
Not too bad. What was the question again, Coach?
Regarding Ziyech, it looks like he may well leave the club this window for 17.5 million pounds.
Oh, okay. Is that what it's looking like? If that is Chelsea won Ziyech first place. All right.
That seems so cheap.
Yeah. Considering the small form he's picked up a little bit, that's quite, but in regards to selling him, I believe it's the right move. I've said since probably his first season before he said, I just don't think he is Premier League pace. I think he's a good player, but not for the league. I think he'll be outrun. So yeah, I think Roma's the best choice for him. Maybe Serie A, that type of pace would be good for him. No disrespect to him, I think he's very good technically, but I just feel that he doesn't have that adaptation to the league. And it's funny because a lot of other clubs were rivals. I was speaking to my Arsenal friends yesterday, and they were telling me, "Oh, I'm looking at it through Chelsea as this guy is actually probably your best player." I probably feel they see something that we don't. So I believe that he's not good enough for Chelsea, not in a negative way, not like he pulls us back. But for him, I don't think he's developed for Chelsea. No, I don't think he's fast enough. So yeah, I'll welcome the move away to another league, 100%.
Don't you think the price is so low though?
Yeah, that's why I don't believe the report a bit. That's why I'm looking at it a bit skeptical, because the fact that 17.5 is an absolute steal. Anyone can afford that. Bloody Bournemouth can afford that.
Yeovil Town can afford that.
Yeah. So I that's why I kind of don't really believe it. I think it will be a bit higher than that. Again, the guy is on.
Do you know why really the price will be low, IBZ? Because already his salary is high.
Yeah, that's true. But
So
look,
for
look
us
what
to
he
be
did
able
in the
to
World
sell him,
Cup,
yeah,
though. Look what
No,
he
no.
had
yeah.
a
Go ahead,
great
IBC,
World
with
Cup.
what you were saying.
Sorry.
No, 100%. Yeah, because obviously the wage is high, so the value could be low. But obviously, regardless, you will have a higher wage budget anyway. This guy will be looking at up north of £100,000 a week. So I will still command a higher fee than 17.5. Probably I'll probably look at the 20 million plus add-ons in that respect. Maybe this is a 17.5 plus add-ons. I wouldn't
Mhm.
expect it to just be like that. But same way. At his age, 29, 30, yes, it's time to cut our losses with Hakim Ziyech. It's not been a terrible time, so to speak. It's not been terrible, but yeah, I just don't think he's cut it for us in terms of an impact.
Yeah, his contract expires in 2025. Again, which means it's
Yeah,
a risk to even not try to sell him now. And again, I'm all for us selling him. Why? Because again, if you can't, he's that one player. He's a very emotional individual. If he stays and he's not getting enough game time, he's a player that's again. How do I phrase it now? He is very much aware of his abilities and feels like he should be playing week in, week out, and will not be content with just a few games here and there. I think he will start sulking again. So that
yes,
was why during the World Cup, when people were saying we shouldn't consider selling him, I was saying, if anything, that would be an opportunity for us to get the sizable from him. And I don't see Graham Potter promising him, again, enough game time for him to say, you know what, I'm going to stay. Um, because there's a chance, again, he will only be picked, select for a few games, especially games where there's always space for him to operate. Because the truth is, if teams defend deep, yes, you can still get him on the ball, but his passes, again, his abilities will practically be useless because there will not be space in behind for them to pick out a player or not. Yeah, I get the argument here. I think the fact that how old is he right now? He's 29.
He's in
Yeah,
his prime.
I think that's about the correct price. Plus, he'd have just 2 years left on his contract next year
No,
because
that's
yeah,
cheap, though.
he has already he has 2 years left on his contract. Go ahead, Roger.
No, I think that is still at £17.5 million. Was it pounds or euros? Either way,
That's
yeah.
pounds there.
Yeah, that's
Unless
go on.
unless that price fee is and I don't think it has happened, unless he has actively been put on the transfer market for any price, or that is the asking price. That's the only way I can see a 17.5 valuation, because they just want him out of the club quickly. They want to offload him and they don't care about how much money comes in. They set a quick
Exactly.
asking
And
price.
his wage is an issue. His wages again
Yeah,
is an issue
I don't
too.
think that's the issue. I don't think they're trying to transfer list him. I just think I think they want to keep him to at least the summer, and if anything, it's just interest from outside inquiring.
I'm
for
surprised they
Ziyech.
didn't put it up for £5.22p then, you know.
Literally.
Here's the thing, IBC.
Plus
If they
VAT.
leave him till the summer, usually IBC, once they sign again, once again it becomes clear to them they have just a few months left, or like 18 months left on their contract, they usually want to wind it down. And at this age, if he gets till next year, becomes 30, that's big again. The last opportunity he has to make a lot of money from football, which means he'll be looking at the sign-on fee if he gets to leave on a free, and you can't force them out. And then,
Yeah.
if anything, you try to find common ground to terminate his contract, which you end up paying him some money to. But go ahead, Roger. I want to get your thoughts on that one.
You're right about him. If he's the type of emotional player that, because he won't be guaranteed playing time, he will sit, especially in big games probably, and he won't be satisfied with that. He won't be satisfied with coming on with 5-10 minutes left, if he does indeed at all come on in a game. I think he will sulk. I think he will, and I mean this politely, be a bad apple and a bad, shall we say, big brother, because you've got so many young players in there that are 23 and under, 18 to 23, that will look up to him as a senior, and therefore you lead by example, and you don't want that as an example. So it would behoove Chelsea to move him on if that does indeed transpire. And I believe it probably has already, because he's had a history before and with the international team. So listen, I think
here's the thing. In terms of his behavior, that's the least of my concerns, really.
Sure. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Listen, I think he's a technical player, and I agree with IBZ. I think the Italian league, Serie A, best suits him because of the physicality of that league compared to the Premier League. It's just a different league altogether. And I think he could take full credit, that they will see his technical abilities on show more. And I think he would excel in that league, even the Spanish league too, to a certain extent, because he's a technical player, and you could see that in the slower paced World Cup. He excelled. I think
here are the clubs that are. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't know you were still had something to say. Go ahead.
I just want to quickly conclude that if he does want to stay, hypothetically, let's say he says, Coach Potter, I really want to stay. I want to prove to you, you know what? And he has played well. Then it's a possibility he could be good for at least till the end of the season. But you're right. Let me check. When does he hit 30, Coach?
Sorry? Yeah, he probably hits 30 this year. He hits 30. He does well to the end of the season. His stocks will rise higher. I mean, if you're playing well, you will get sought out. Clubs will want you. So
Ziyech turns 30 in the 19th of March this year.
Yeah, so it's this year.
Oh, you have your spreadsheet in front of you.
Yeah, he's 29 years, 10 months, and 5 days.
Exactly. I sold him on my FME. Like, it is what it is, isn't it? He's not a bad player. Again, I sold him to Milan. He's not a bad player. I just feel the pace of the league.
I don't think he's lived up to what we expected from him, especially.
And you have to argue too, he hasn't really been given the opportunity.
Maybe I didn't expect anything from him, but I didn't expect anything from him. I expected it was more Timo Werner. It was more Timo Werner.
But wasn't he Frank's first acquisition? And I think he got hurt. The first time
he got signed before the summer, so it was a pre-agreement, like Pulisic, so to speak. It was like that.
Sure.
But he would come in at the same time as Werner and Kai.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, I had high expectations for him.
I really didn't. I even when they were playing against the Champions, he's good.
He killed Chelsea when we played him.
I think that's just set pieces. I think that's just set pieces.
I know.
I think
no, you're right.
Pieces.
Yeah, so. That was naive.
It wasn't like Salah against Chelsea when we played Basel. It weren't like that.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
It weren't
All right, let me catch up on what we have in the chat, but I want to show this first before I do that. Here are his possible destinations. Current rumors, interested clubs. AS Roma, Serie A, again, with just a question mark, and that's because his move to AS Roma or to play for Mourinho depends on the future, depends on what Roma does with, maybe they find suitors, because Zaniolo really does want to leave. So if Nicola Zaniolo leaves Roma, then the most likely destination will be AS Roma. Newcastle United, 23%. I don't think that happens. But they want him.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So, but let's see what happens. We'll move on from that. Let me catch up.
Can I ask, just very briefly, gentlemen, do you think he leaves this window? Yes or no?
I don't know.
If we can find suitors, I think he leaves. Probably again because on the right hand side is where Modric plays, and who else can play on that right hand side too. But I'm not sure. There's no telling what the club would do because the squad depth is very important.
Yeah, and his salary is an issue too if he wants to go overseas. Because I think the Italian league, that's a big salary for them.
The only reason why I don't see him leaving, because at the end, when it's all said and done, whilst we all still say he's not good enough, which I believe, I don't mean he's not good enough like he's a rubbish player. I just feel that
I get it.
Like his pace. I believe even still, whilst we still hold those thoughts, the fact that he's on form, and he is adding to a bit of positivity in the squad on the pitch, that may be seen through till regardless of all these new signings. Ziyech is probably still the most informed player in this treachery that we find ourselves in.
Well, that doesn't take much.
And Kai Havertz. I should say Kai Havertz is probably in more form than he is, but both of them too their stocks are pretty high, so it'll probably I see that in the summer. But anything can happen.
I can see them having a successful relationship with his passing. I really can. If they can click on the pitch, they could be significant upgrade to what we've had this season.
All right, let me
form.
Yeah. Again, if you're watching, if you haven't, 107 likes. Let's see if we can get it to 200 by the time the show ends. If you haven't, please take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Roger, you wanted to say something else?
No. I just, I really have mixed emotions about him. I really do.
No, I understand.
And about several players, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm being too optimistic, or I'm looking at it through a different lens, a different prism, so to speak. So, I don't know. Time will tell. That's all.
All right. Let me catch up with what we have in the chat. And if you're in the chat again, avoid using more than 3 emojis. It's gonna get you. Again, the machine will time you out. Yeah, Chelsea shoot again. I've read that one. Gallagher is a good player, but I don't think he has what it takes to be a Chelsea player yet. Maybe in the future he will be good enough for us. But yeah, he needs a loan move. Big up to you too. Mabas05, thank you for that. The contribution there. I am actually shocked. There's no World Cup tax with that 17.5 million pounds.
No kidding.
Yeah, I agree with you because he did quite well. But here's the thing. Excuse me. Sorry about the cough. I think that's how what we'll do if we really want him out. That's what club maybe will agree to do to accommodate his salary. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. So Jonas Sus. Again, we should let Ziyech go now. There's a club coming for him. There are clubs coming for him, actually. Since he comes to Chelsea, he doesn't, live up to our expectation. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So sorry, man. I feel bad. Yeah, again, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, if Enzo and Caicedo will come, this war has been fought in 2 fronts, a shoot and arrow and wait. Oh, what a way to put it. Chelsea diehard. I like that. 30 million, we paid that for Ziyech. Thank you, Tuna. I appreciate that information. Ziyech should be sold at 45 to 50 million. He's still a game. Yeah, good luck finding a buyer with a salary. Caicedo wants to hand in a transfer request to force a move to Chelsea. Did he specifically say to Chelsea? I know we have upper hand because, yeah, he has worked with Graham
This guy
Potter.
remixed it.
Yeah.
This guy remixed it.
Yeah, there's a chance that that's a remix, really. And I like that. I think I'm going to start using that term, remix. Enzo, better than Caicedo. Okay. To be honest, the change in ownership and coaches has made a lot of difference in the club, though. Again, we expect good results with the kind of status we have as a club. A lot went wrong for us. I think we'll come good. Now it's Arsenal time to hijack Caicedo from Chelsea. If we really want Caicedo, I don't think they can hijack him. It's as simple as that.
All I got to say is Arsenal need a midfielder. They need one more than we do.
They need depth.
El Neni has just picked up a long injury. That injury is not weeks, it's months, I've been told.
Oh, really?
They are in the market for a midfielder. Yeah.
Oh, so it would really help them then if we can get him.
So it's all about, I think they're going in for, the reason why they've gone in for Caicedo is the fact that, bro, we need players. This ain't we're trying to add in because of this. Now I think it's a case.
Just quickly, is it Joe LCP? If you keep breaking your contributions down like that, like in a minute you've typed like 1, 2, 3, 4 different messages, the machine is going to see it as a spam and it will time you out. Go ahead, IBZ.
Yeah, I was just saying. So yeah, that's Caicedo deal. I believe the transfer request is in response to the rejection from Brighton to Arsenal. I believe the transfer request is nothing to do with us, obviously, but with links in the air in it, I don't believe his transfer request is in reaction to us.
Does he have a preference?
I don't know about that, but I just believe that
Well,
it's
you
a
can
reaction to
assume
Arsenal.
probably us because it's worked for Graham Potter.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, you could understand that, and obviously he's probably seeing the fact that we are signing, rebuilding, and probably wants to be part of that. But Arsenal did make an official bid that has been rejected. He has now handed in a transfer request as per reports, so it will seem likely that Arsenal has funneled this guy's mind. So yeah, we will see what happens from there, I guess. But I think
I
if
just
he's
wonder
gonna leave,
why
he'll be one.
IBZ thinks Chelsea has any midfielders.
No, I don't believe we don't have any midfielders. I just believe Arsenal are.
But why do you
if
believe Chelsea don't have any midfielders?
we do? We don't have enough. I believe we should go in the window and sign, but it depends on how hungry we are. I believe we were more hungrier for the players that we've acquired than the ones that we need in midfield, and it was evident because we ain't signed a midfielder yet, and we get to bid properly or go hard for a midfielder as opposed to our rivals up north who have gone in for said midfielder who we've been linked with for the whole window. So I just believe now that Arsenal have a pressing situation in their injury, which has kicked them up the backside to make this issue more executed by getting this deal done, making a bid and taking it from there. I think it will go into the weekend, probably into next week, and they'll have a resolution by that. Obviously, we have the opportunity to hijack it or talk to him because I heard we were in for a verbal agreement, not really an official bid. Arsenal gone in with the official bid. So I believe his head has now been turned based off that, as opposed to our verbal agreement. But yeah, I'm with you, Bobby. I want a midfielder now. I want a midfielder yesterday. But obviously, we didn't sign one. We haven't signed one. Transfer window ends on Tuesday. How likely are we going to sign Enzo or this Moises Caicedo guy if Arsenal have gone in for an offer?
IBZ, do you think we need a midfielder more than we need a right back?
No, we need him right back more. But obviously, we've gone in for him now.
I think Chelsea has developed such an expert way of modifying a non-existent midfield that we actually think we have a midfield. We have less of a midfield than Arsenal. I'm not disputing your point. Obviously, they feel they need a midfield, but we have less. We have a greater need, in fact.
You mean because of injuries?
Injuries, ability.
Yeah.
We don't have a midfield. Now, the fact that we haven't acted on it doesn't take away the fact that we don't have a midfield. Now, if Arsenal
100%.
feel stronger about it than we do, well, clearly they do because they've made this opening bid, and rightly so. Right. It's not an area that you should ignore like we've been ignoring.
If Partey gets injured, they only have Lokonga.
Right, that's pivotal.
That's pivotal for them in their title charge, in their race to win the league. Yeah, I think it's something they'll be pressing on.
Yeah, if let's put it this way, I know this isn't an Arsenal show, but if by the end of the season they don't win the league and it's because of injuries and they didn't address that, that'll be catastrophic for them.
I'll love it.
That's an evil laugh, and I love it.
I'll love it. I swear to God, I'm just picturing it.
Let me see.
I just think this.
Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
I just think this Caicedo thing, just as IBZ said, is going to play out into the weekend, probably into the early part of next week. I don't think this is the end of it. I just think this is the trigger of it. This is the trigger to get it going, just like the Modric deal. When a third bid came in and was announced as the final bid, that was a trigger. I just think
take that deal off them. If we take that deal off them after they've made an open official bid,
it's not a matter of taking the deal off them.
They are gonna hate our guts.
They're trying to take it off us because we sort of bid first, verbal or not.
That's true.
It's been made public. So
no, I'm with you. It would just be funny. It would just
to
be
pedantic
their reaction
and technical. Yeah, you're right, Bobby. We were first.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but I don't. To be honest, I don't think it because Enzo is so ridiculously financially out of range.
Do
I
they
don't
still?
think.
Do they still, Bobby, want or anybody? For Enzo, does the Benfica still want the 120 million or the large
I don't
portion of it
know.
up front or not?
I don't
Well,
know.
We're not sure, but one thing is sure. I think that the two clubs, even though Benfica will deny that, they've been again. I wouldn't say constant communication, but they've been talking. If anything, we just learned that last week or a week or 2 weeks ago, we went in with an improved offer, and the rumors today is that again we're planning on going back with another a much improved offer. But the truth is, I don't see us getting Caicedo and Enzo this window. So us again, our beating Arsenal for Caicedo's signature comes down to our priority. Comes down to which of the players we want the most.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. That's why I don't think this is over. I really don't. And the fact that it was rejected, I think is that's the Arsenal bid was rejected.
Yeah, I think that's a bit
It's
small.
quite
That
telling.
is way off. That's way off their valuation for Enzo Fernandez. So obviously, I think a situation has happened where he's put in a transfer request. They're going to put a valuation, and it's whoever's ready for the ball game. It might be high, it might be affordable. God knows.
They've said
But it'd be funny if we
75
take it for
million,
Arsenal.
haven't they?
go ahead. Let's let Bobby drop.
They said 75 million. Then the media started saying that they said 100 million. I think it's more 75, to be honest. I think there's going to be a bit of a race going on. They've triggered the bidding war. I know Arsenal don't like saying that, but they start bidding wars and often
They
don't finish them.
You know.
So, I mean, let's see. I mean, 60 million was about what they bid for Modric. Where they've sort of taken the halo off their heads that they like to put in the media was that was meant to be their ceiling. And that's what they were bragging about when they pulled, allegedly, out of the Modric deal. So
we all know how that played
will
out.
they go beyond for Caicedo? That'll be very interesting.
Yeah, Bobby, you have anything to say about the Ziyech situation? I know you were out when we talked about him. It's looking, again, from what we're hearing, it's looking like he's more likely to leave this window.
I don't believe that. I don't think our owners are stupid. I think they know that we have one competition to battle on two fronts, and we've got to go all out. We've got to go all out, either to win the Champions League or to finish top four, or both. Chelsea from this point on has to be full throttle for every single game. We've been in this position. That's our life anyway. That's our life. That's what we do. But, they have to. And they're going to need their very best players and tested players. Now, Ziyech has hit form. They're not going to get rid of him before summer. They want him to keep that form to get us over the line. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't sell anybody. Our injuries aren't all back. They're still, trickling back. Yeah. They're not going to be fully match prepared. They're going to take time to actually get back up to speed. We'll be talking of March by the time all these players get back. Some of them won't even be back from injury till March. So I would not be surprised if we don't sell anybody. I really wouldn't. And they wait until summer.
I totally concur. Yeah.
Yeah, again, that argument makes sense, and I think we've talked about that before. It's just that this is out, and Damasio, you could say, is one of the most trusted sources in terms of transfers.
Damasio gets so much wrong that it's beyond belief. Wasn't Damasio one of those that said the Enzo deal was done?
No. It was all British journalists mainly, and Portuguese journalists.
He was among them. He was
definitely
definitely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
NGX says Ziyech been wanting to leave since last summer. His recent boost in performance is him trying to get the top club to bid on him this window. His heart is no longer at Chelsea. You could argue that, but let's see what the club does. Or maybe he wants to win the Premier League so bad, and he sees it again as a perfect opportunity to go to Arsenal. Are you talking about? I'm guessing you're talking about Caicedo. Arsenal giving 60 million for Caicedo. That's a joke. Maybe Arsenal have robbed someone. They cannot beat us. We got the money. Okay. I think Caicedo would prefer us. Ben Jacobs reported this a few days ago, and he again, as he's having a good project. He would also guarantee the starting place and better wages. And Potter is a manager. Yeah, more importantly, he's worked with Potter before. Potter signed him for around £4 million or so. Cover Gallagher Mount aren't good enough. Yeah, again, we're not into talking about who's not good enough right now. So we need Enzo and Caicedo, Gusto to compete with James. But right now, I wouldn't say compete with James, but again, do a good enough job so we can rest James. He's a potential, well-equipped to become even better, to be able to compete with James as time goes on, if that makes any sort of sense. Summer will have a lot of players leaving. I still believe we can still manage the midfielders we have. Potter should find a system to balance our way of playing. I hope he does that. I keep building those likes, people. Yes, we're at 100 plus likes right now. Let's try and shoot for 200 likes before the show ends. But we have, again, how many minutes? Yeah, we still have nearly an hour before the show ends, and we can get it to 200 likes only if you believe we can. Big up Kachila, big up Bobby, big up Roger, big up IBC. If Arsenal do sign Caicedo, do you think we will try to get Enzo? Yep. If we let them, let me just put it this way. If we let them take Caicedo, which means Caicedo isn't our priority. I don't know if if for sure, maybe our priority is Enzo, or maybe some other good midfielder that we probably know is good enough, but weren't sure, but are not sure whether the club is looking at or not. If that makes any sort of sense to you, and big up deals. I hope you're doing well. Caicedo is what 70 to 75 million. Anything more than that is madness. Okay, let's see what happens. So do an Arsenal type beat against 75 mil plus $1. Okay. Good afternoon, Coach and Blues. Good afternoon, my friend Lalo. I hope you're doing well. I think Ziyech may leave because Roma are getting rid of Zaniolo. Like I said, yeah, the holdup has always been whether Nicola Zaniolo leaves Roma or not. That's what I'm hearing. But let's see if that's the case. Again, we have a few days before the transfer window shuts. We'll find out whether that's the case. Hello, everyone. I want to know, again, we buy players this January. Can they play Champions League? Or again, they need us. We need to. Can somebody quickly help me with that question there? I think we need to. Let me just say, I think we need to somewhat. Again, we need to unregister 1 or 2 players. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong if you're on the panel to accommodate the new signings, but I just don't want to pull something out of my behind and throw it out at you because I'm not well acquainted with that situation. Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
IBZ really dealt with this issue a while back. You know, he looked at the registered
I think 3
numbers.
days ago.
Is he still there?
Was it that long ago? Wow.
I think he's busy. He's kind of busy.
No, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, can you help us with this one on the screen?
What's happened?
The question is again, he wants to know to accommodate new players if we have to sell some and buy. I want to know who will buy players this January. Can they play Champions League or they need to sell players?
All right. Okay.
And Bobby referenced you again how you helped answer a question the other day.
All right. So you get a squad of 25, right? Maximum to register for the Champions League. Out of that 25, 8 of those players. Minimum of 8 have to be homegrown, playing in England, and out of those 8 or out of the 25, 4 of those will have to have played in the club since their 15th birthday. Now, if we have registered, I don't know, I don't know the current statistics for what we registered. Say we registered 24 players, we only allowed room for 1 more player, but we can replace players existing, but that will still count as how to explain. It will still be taken off your allocated spot. So if you allow 3 replacements and you've taken 1 off, it's removed out of your replacement spot. It's a bit tricky. This way it gets a bit tricky, but the be all and end all, we can register, but there will still need to be a replacement for them, and or we may have spot for one more. Now, if we didn't register enough, I don't think we did, because we still have players that are homegrown quota under 21, i.e. Broha. Broha's under 21, so he doesn't need to be registered for Premier League or the Champions League, meaning we probably have 2 extra spaces that we can fill, even if we didn't fill up that 25 player quota. So we could probably add Felix, we'll probably add Modric and Benoit Badiashile. If that's the case, we won't need to replace Broha because he wasn't registered in the first place. So we could potentially put some of those new guys in the squad, but again, it will depend on the amount of players we registered before January, and yeah, moving forward. But yeah, we will see new players. I will believe we will see new players in the Champions League. Not all of them, because that will obviously go ahead of that will clear it will be over the threshold. But we will see players, new players in the Champions League, definitely. Probably one or two. Felix
because we can't spend that much money and not make space for them.
No, yeah, exactly. I don't think there will be, oh yeah, we've signed all of these guys and not one of them can play in the Champions League. Yeah, 100% no. But yeah, but if you look at the rules, we have every club, four of your players. Obviously, it differs in different countries, but the UEFA rule is blanket for every UEFA if you're competing in UEFA competition, Europa League, Conference League, Champions League. Minimum of 4 that was played in your academy, minimum of 8 that's played in the country, homegrown. But yeah, I hope that clears up.
Thank you very much. We're well equipped here. Always somebody to help us answer such question. I see, bro. Let me know. I hope you're well. I woke up. I see Arsenal beat 60 million for Caicedo. I laughed deep inside. I had like, wait, what's going on? I get it. I feel the same too. Arsenal also want to be Mendy, and his clause is 60 million euros, which is even cheaper.
Big up Lolo's display picture. That's a bad boy display picture. Lolo's display picture. Big up. I like the display picture.
You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
It's a character, you know. Okay. Zubimendi, I don't know him that well to say, but a lot of people have suggested we go for him. So let's see what happens, because there are still good options out there. France played a World Cup final with no midfield. Do you want us to do that? I don't want us to do that. We've tried everything with that midfield. We need something new. Big up straight from Jamaica. Wagwan brother, again, Chadrick Evans, I hope you're doing well. What a profile, again, what profile of midfielder do you think we need? A DM or a proper passer like now? Here's the thing. I would have used my first choice. The type of DM type, again, that we need, and I believe will work well under Graham Potter, is Ismail Benessa type of DM. It's not your stereotypical DM. He's well equipped, can find, again, solutions in tight spaces, even if you had 5 players on him. He's a good dribbler, good, again, passing vision, and can score goals. And then, again, but we need one central attacking midfielder. And I can't preach this enough. It just seems as every time it's like quoting a verse, from a book from the Bible. Like, I'm a pastor every time this comes up. We need a central attacking midfielder in the mold of maybe Kevin De Bruyne or Cesc Fabregas, Juan Mata, or a mashup of 3 of them, or even a mashup of Kevin De Bruyne and Cesc Fabregas, if you prefer, so that we can diversify our chance creation. Because right now, we do create chances, but majority of the time, the chances come from the flanks and mainly on the carpet. And that is simple. Again, it's very predictable. And once opponents defend deep, we're done. So I want a central attacking midfielder who's very good at picking defensive part, no matter how. So as long as somebody makes a run, they will find them. But what we have right now, the crop of players we have, you see somebody make a run and then go because the ball isn't coming. Sometimes they will even be raising their hands and the ball won't come. And the only player who's capable of finding, again, the players that make such runs, we're talking about him leaving. There are chances he leaves the club, if that makes any sort of sense. But good question there. I like that, really. Let's see. Again, I've said hello to my friend Lala. We will get Enzo before the window is shut down. Wow. the showdown there scares the head out. Is he flying? But I get I get what you mean. I'm sure of it. Yeah, again, I trust them. They will most likely find a solution to the issues we have. It's ignorant for your guests to say we don't have midfielders. Again, we bossed so many teams, Real, Milan, etc. Again, easily. Again, the issue we have, is specialists that are not suited for the EPL. They excel in UEFA Champions League, not the Premier League.
Who said we didn't have midfielders?
Let's just move on. Again, he probably misunderstood the argument or something. But here's a solid argument from your comment right there. I think we have players that will always do well in the Champions League, but probably will struggle in the Premier League. Except again, when we played Porto, was it under Thomas Tuchel before we won the Champions League? We nearly lost that game because we couldn't match their dirty plays because they weren't playing their Champions League football, one like that of AC Milan, that of Real Madrid or other teams we played against, but they were different. They were playing like a Premier League team. So, but a good thing we beat them. I would say they were the most difficult team that again, during that run to the Champions League final, Porto was because of how they play. Yeah, so your argument, my point is, again, we have players that will struggle in the Premier League, but will be excellent in the Champions League. Coach, I'm feeling like Boehly and Chelsea are going to go mad in the next few days before the window closes. Yeah, they have to. They have no option but to find solutions. But the question is, there's a chance the players will see coming. We didn't even know that they were exploring the possibility of getting them in. Hello, guys. Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. We are. How about you? Let us know how you're doing. Do you think we will go in for Leao in the summer? Possibly not. We're not sure what if we end up keeping Felix and we have Mudryk. I don't see us going for Leao. Plus, Leao is on the verge. I don't know how much is on the verge because we've been hearing he's on the verge of signing a new contract at AC Milan for nearly a month right now. He hasn't done that. If he has done that, and I don't know, you let me know. So him extending, which means that effectively, you could say deals with Chelsea's interest in the player. And you could argue the reason why we went for Mudryk was because he wasn't available in the first place. So if that makes any sort of sense, again, a financial of the market into this game, the price for players is gone up because there are more money in the game. Maybe inflation. You consider inflation too. Let me see again. How do you feel we have handled this market so far? I think we've done well. Really, I've been surprised at how well we've done. We have 6 left-sided attackers.
Can I drop one opinion about this midfield situation?
Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
To be honest, right, I don't see Benfica, after all the stance they've been making, really dropping their price that low for doing a deal for Enzo, certainly not this January. And where they've really thrown a spanner in the works is this tax thing of about 66 million on top.
Jeez.
The whole thing's going to come to about 100. I think the whole thing's about 160 something million now.
No, that's obscene.
It's. I just think, in my opinion, my humble opinion, if I were Chelsea, I'll just go drop the money for Caicedo. Take it. There's no point messing around. And everything we're going to do is expensive.
Name another team that would do that would shell out that kind of money. Maybe
166.
Real Madrid.
Maybe Real Madrid, maybe PSG, but they don't need him that badly.
Exactly. Would they though? I don't think so.
No. I mean, Real Madrid has Tchouameni. PSG has.
Exactly. I'm saying hypothetically though, if they needed to, I still don't think they would do it. I think that's a huge over-evaluation.
Go ahead, Bobby. So, can you drop? I want to get the point you're making.
So Caicedo, I mean, just do it, because unless our scouts have got somebody else lined up, because there's this rumor.
So I think that Zubimendi, as Lolo mentioned in the chat, you said Arsenal. You said unless Arsenal has somebody else lined up, right?
No, I said unless our scouting team.
Okay, go
Chelsea
ahead.
scouting team.
Let him
has
drop,
somebody
coach.
has somebody else lined up. Just go and pay the money for Tchouameni, for Caicedo, and be done with it. Really?
Yeah. Let's see what they do. Chelsea must sign Nunes instead of Caicedo. Malo Gusto is a serious required player, as well as Onana. Onana is far more needed for this ground. For this ground covering tactics, a hunger, team play, attributes, again, tackles and all that, and plus his tall. But do I think it's better than Caicedo? I can't really say. Again, would you rather us buy names or smart prices? Smart prices, I think they're being smart, but at this point, they want to mix it up. We'll sign quite a lot of players. And for us to be able to win, you need to accommodate experience, you need to accommodate youth, you need to, for branding purposes, some names are important to you, if that makes any sort of sense to you. Enzo is the right man for Chelsea. A lot of us think the same. Whether he's an Arsene Wenger, when we get him in, I am waiting for him again since the summer. Then we sign him still. We haven't. A lot of problems, political reasons, and I don't want to go into that. And deals, CFC says, run the likes of people. We're at 143 likes. Let's get it to 200 likes as soon as possible. And it's very possible, but only if you believe we can. There's a difference between Enzo and Caicedo. They're two different profile of players. So if we're being honest, Malo, nice to see you, brother. Hi, coach. Would you, prefer us, Ismail Corner of Canada for our midfield? Nunes of Wolves is far better than Caicedo. Again, in my view, would you also profile us, Kolo Muami? I can't profile players. I don't know that much. But in terms of comparing Nunes, Mateus Nunes, and Caicedo, the two different profile of players. Caicedo is more defensively minded, and you could say maybe more aggressive. But Mateus Nunes is more in the mode of Kovacic. Let me say more aggressive, but Caicedo is more physical. And those are two. Being physical physicality is a different thing from aggression. You could say it just seems like I think Nunes is more aggressive. If that makes any sort of sense to you. Why can't we sign Varela from Boca Junior? I don't know him, Siobhan, really. And again, apologies that I can't profile those players you just mentioned because I don't know them that well. I don't want to start pulling stuff out of my behind and throwing them out of you and pretend I know them when I don't. Shout out to you, Nightbot. Wow, okay. And enjoy your conversation with him. Please like and subscribe when you enter. If you have not, as it helps the channel reach a wider audience. We need, again, just how many more? 56 more to get it to 200 likes, and I believe we can do that. Do you believe Lyon are playing games on Gusto? Here's the thing about the Gusto situation. Let me talk about it again. Now, if they don't sell him now, he lives on a free. He lives as a free agent. So it's a risk, and they can get up to 30 million pounds or so for if they sell him. And we're the only club willing to pay that money. Some other clubs are trying to convince him to stay until he gets to live on a free. Then they sign him, and he's already agreed personal terms with us. Would get him on a free. So, if anything, the statement of the club, Lyon's president, to me, if anything, it just shows that okay, maybe if anything, I'm suspecting maybe we've already agreed terms, but we're just still discussing whether to leave him on loan there, which wouldn't make any sort of sense to any Chelsea fans, and we'll go bananas if that happens because he plays in an area that's important to us.
Yeah, but
Roger, go ahead.
yes.
You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I totally agree with that last statement. However, they could be looking long term and say, you know what, we can have Chalobah as a rotational player or Aspie, because of James.
Just go ahead. I'll be back. I'll be back in just about a minute.
Yeah, because they believe James is coming back fit in the next week or two, and you know what? Maybe they've, shall we say, identified Gusto as a long-term project, so lean him back to them. So I understand that. Do we need him immediately? Yes, we do. However, they could also identify him as someone that we could indeed lend back and then use our alternative rotational players. This could be their mindset. I'm just assuming here. So to lend him back isn't actually that, shall we say, it's not antithetical to logic in that regard, because I believe it could be a logical move if they're looking long term, if that makes sense. So I can see it going either way, but we do need I shouldn't say backup, a rotational player immediately. But you know what? If they truly want him for the future, then I can see them doing that move. I don't agree with it, but I can understand why they would do so. That's my point, Coach. What do you think, chaps? There's no one listening.
Sorry, Roger.
Sorry, I was away for a sec. Sorry.
You're dead to me.
Give me a hypothesis. I'll agree with you. No, you know me, man. I'll give it to you.
I'm just joking.
Throw me the hypothesis. What was it, Bobby? Sorry, literally.
Were you listening?
It wasn't me. It was Roger.
Sorry, Roger. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So basically, the question was,
yeah,
should we buy him and lend him back to Lyon? You know,
who? Gusto.
Yeah, but I believe
we shouldn't be buying anyone and loaning them back into anywhere. No.
But I believe if the people that are in power at Chelsea, Vivell, Winstanley, whomever, think that you know what, we have enough ammunition with the players we have as rotational players with James. He's coming back in 2 weeks, and we've identified Gusto as a long-term identified because he's 19. We can identify him as someone for a long-term project, then we could do that. Do I agree with that? No, but I think that could be logical to their mindset going forward.
So what happens if James gets injured February 2nd?
No. Checkmate. That's why I said, but in their mind that they believe that hypothetically, if that does transpire, that guess what? They do indeed have Chalobah or Aspi.
We should be phasing out Azpilicueta.
I know. I'm playing devil's advocate, Albin. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, we need to be phasing out Azpilicueta.
I know.
Respectfully, we need to phase him out.
No, because his legs are gone. He's still good though in the 3 role in the centre back three though. He can perform that because that doesn't require too much mileage on the old legs. But I get your point.
Should be too. I'll say anyone will get it now. I can't afford to have anyone in the summer like Nkuku. No, let's get everyone now.
But do you see my logic though? Why that could transpire?
Yeah, definitely.
Because he fits the criteria for the long-term project. So if they've indeed identified him as someone that would be a good fit in that project, then I don't see why not. However, I would want him now.
Yeah, blimey.
All right, let me see what we have. Thank you guys for holding the fort. Well, again, I went to help myself out there very quickly. Again, hi again. If there are any new signings again beyond the ones I'm sure you know we've signed already? None. Just pay attention. If anything happens, this is one of the first places you'd hear about it. We have 149 likes already. Just 51 more to get it to 200 likes. Let's get it done, people. We can, and I trust you can. Again, Simon Ibebulem, nice to see you here, my Niger brother, says there are many midfielders out there. Leave Enzo. We have Santos, use him or Moises. We need that. If we can get him, Santos, we'll see what he's capable of doing. But you don't want him to feel like he's arrived. You want him to keep working. We want competition for places. Very okay. Thank you. Thanks, Coach, again for your explanation on the Nunes versus Caicedo. I appreciate it. So, more thanks to you for contributing in the chat. But do look at, again, Kolo Moani at Frankfurt. Again, I will look at him. I promise. I hope I don't forget. If you're on Twitter, just send me a message to remind me. I like researching players. I like learning about new players who played more minutes in the Qatar World Cup than Thuram. Really. Again, Kennedy. Okay. That's again. Let's see. Adaho, Geoffrey Kinson, will Mason Mount leave? Yeah, he will leave. He will stay alive. But I get what you mean. I don't think he leaves. It does. Your phone probably helped you spell that one. then if he I don't mean to laugh. That's rude, really. If he leaves, who will play his position again? I'm a Malo from a Lagoon in Uganda, my African brother. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. In his place, we still have Gallagher. If what the manager is looking for is those that have a lot of energy to run 190 minutes and don't get tired, Gallagher is there. But if we're looking for an improvement, there are other players. Felix can play a 10 as an 8. Kai Havertz can also play as an 8. IBC, you wanted to say something?
No.
That was me.
No.
Oh, was that you, Roger? Okay, go ahead, Roger, if you had anything, if you wanted to say something.
I want to ask one question. Why is there an issue with Santos's immigration status? Why can't he get a work permit? Surely he fits the criteria. Is it because of his age, 18?
Yeah,
that's
so
ridiculous.
You need no. Yeah, that's the new rule. That's not just it's a Brexit rule. It's a government. It's the UK.
Bite me.
You know, it's obviously to stop football clubs poaching 14-year-old, 13-year-olds from Brazilian clubs without actually playing a first team for their parent club or even their national team.
No,
and then coming into release shows is a bit. There's a loophole system behind that they've been wanting to crack down for a number of years, and teams have been penalised for it. So now the new rota is unless you have enough points or played enough games for your national team, you need to acquire enough visa points for you to be eligible for a work permit to play as a sports personality in this country.
Is he not achieving that now, playing for Argentina now? Or Brazil?
Maybe after the under-20 competition, if he comes back, he may well fall into the category of exceptional talent, where they make an exception. Go ahead, IBZ.
Well, potentially, yeah. But as I understand, he's come straight from Brazil. He hasn't played enough games to play for the national team, so he hasn't got enough points. I don't know how that works with the under-20
senior national team.
So the senior national team. So I don't know how many games he needs to play for that to happen. But with that, I mean, everything is subject to appeal, like you just said. Now, if it's rejected, if it was rejected, I think Chelsea have already appealed it. Put another, circumstances where they can allow this player to be registered and play. But that is usually a criteria. If you ain't got enough points,
and knowing our luck, that the immigration panel are full of Arsenal fans.
Probably, you know what I mean. You probably decision makers.
Yeah, Roger, are you able to help me with this one here? If the release clause is paid for Enzo, how can FFP come for us? In which manner didn't Mbappe go for big money from Monaco? But I think that they didn't pay anything one time. It was again the payment again they didn't pay one time. It was paid over the years, and I'm sure probably they're still paying. But go ahead, Roger.
It could be an issue for us on the financial fair play if we pay, let's say, 100 out of the 120 million upfront, hypothetically. I believe one of the sticking points, correct me, chaps, if I'm wrong, is the fact that they want a huge amount upfront initially, where Chelsea wish to spread it more evenly, amortization.
I'm not with this Enzo deal. I've not put my head around it only because of the fact that I feel it's pure speculation, like I'll feel with everything else. But it's what it is.
I've heard from credible sources
maybe
that was the
because
case.
of the fact that there is a release clause, and the release clause may factor into the FFP ruling as opposed to the wages offered. The wages is not a problem. I think what we're trying to do is not pay the full release clause because of this threat of the FFP situation, and try to make those payments spread across as opposed to pay the full whack, because we're going to pay a full whack, then put them on an 8-year contract. Also,
question is, why hasn't UEFA implemented a hard salary cap like they do in America? This is the thing, because I understand they don't have transfers where it's for money, it's for draft picks. I understand that, but
I think that's the exact point. I think that's the exact reason why.
Yeah,
because there's too much. There's transfers. The value of a player and what they're worth will be different to what I don't know what you're worth at Brighton, for instance, or what you're worth at AC Milan, or what you're worth at Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? So I think for that reason, there has to be. You can't really cap the wage structure because the wage structures are are priced in by different factors as well. Amount of international appearances you make, the amount of times you sit on the bench, the
Sure.
amount of times we get
Well,
relegated.
they have
do you know what
that
I
in
mean?
the States too, where they have incentives. But I think UEFA will eventually implement a hard wage cap, or at least a soft wage cap. You know,
We'll see what
where it's,
happens. I just hope that any new rules they bring in, it's not going to be the detriment to us.
yes, of
I'd like
course
us
it is.
to
It's
be
not going to
above
bode
water
well
in that
for us.
sense.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want us to be underwater in that sense. No, moving forward.
All right.
I don't want us to do that. Yeah.
All right, let me catch up with the chat again. People, a few more to get it to 200 likes. We need 48 more likes to get it to 200 likes. So please keep dropping the likes on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Aspilicueta can play until the summer, then leave or have someone replace him. Again, Chelsea should just try and sign Gusto and Caicedo, Walter or Moregbe. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Again, here's the thing: the instructions again, how you can make the heart icon or the 100% emoji show up on the screen. There you go on the screen there again. Please do that. That helps the channel go along where you can go back to that stream. Let me to that comment there from Liam Lynn to understand how that is done. When is Potter again? Yeah, I'll make a phone call. I'll talk to Boehly and I'll get back to you. Hey, bro, what's up? Phil R7, I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. What do we have here again? Marcus Thuram is also a brilliant forward option. He's had again a Lilian played. His dart Lilian played for us, and so we should get the upper hand. No, he's not coming. He's blocked the move to any club until the summer. I don't think that again that his dad having played for us isn't a guarantee. I think in the summer he goes to club, any club that gives him more sign-on fee because he gets that. He'd be a free agent then. It's because of Brazil have issues with immigration. Okay, I didn't know. Kamara, how are you doing? Let me see what else we have here. Gusto will be here. Okay, the president is just trying to have his day in the sun. You could say that because somebody did point out that's a Leon thing. They come out and make such statement, and before you know, the player is gone. Santos can get a work permit on appeal if the club can prove he's an exceptional talent. And I think his performance at the competition where he's participating right now, he's done quite well. 3 goals so far, plus his overall performance. Or maybe his age has been, again, added 2 years extra to pass the threshold. What? Gaining a work permit after successful transfer to Europe. I'm not sure I understand that one. Enzo is a DM. No, he's not. No. Anything close to that, you could say just say a hybrid, not even a DM. But he can operate from deep, if that makes any sort of sense. Malo Gusto is good only defensively. I've seen, again, he doesn't pass on time. How old is he? Let me ask
19,
you that.
Right?
No, I'm asking Lou Pellegrini. That is something he improves. Again, passing time when he's going forward, he's like a Ziyech going forward. Okay. Enzo and a DM. Yeah, thank you for responding to that. He's a CM. Caicedo is a DM. Caicedo even, again, not your traditional type of DM. If we cannot sign any of our targets now in January, then I suggest that we train Chalobah through to be a competitor or to James. James Chalobah has the potential to be a great right back.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd be a great right back, really.
Yeah, I think his crossing qualities are lacking so far. That doesn't mean he can't improve on them, but I don't know. Listen, he's an outstanding centre back, but I'm not sure he fits into the right back physically.
Chelsea boy says Benfica will do Enzo to Man City in the summer for 16 million just to insult. I don't think so. If that's the case, it came out will take something again around 80 plus from us. Gusto has the second most successful crosses in the box. From season. Correct me if I'm wrong. So he's good offensively. Yeah. So you slug it out with the person that's made the initial statement there. Chalobah has played a right back and midfield, so he cannot. He can fit in any of the. But we want specialists for every position, and he hasn't played there in a while. So it would just be makeshift until we'll find again a specialized player for that particular position. Arsenal just made a bid of 60 million for Caicedo. We've talked about that. I believe they want to push us to ease in our payment of a Caicedo. That may well be the case. They did business with them a few days ago. So that's a chance. Again, they asked them, can you do us a favor and just pretend you want him? I don't know if that's the case. That's just me, a theory. If you want the Chalobah is a utility player. Just from a legal perspective, it should be deemed an irregularity if the selling club puts a release clause that can bring the club buying clubs in disrepute if the money cannot be tabled at once. Well, I think maybe Roger will understand and explains talk about that one. He's a lawyer. Kolo Muani of Frankfurt is more lethal than Thuram. Again, Loftus-Cheek again. Okay, check him out again, coach. Again, I will. Okay, also see the Paul of Argentina as a midfield genius. The Paul he plays for Atletico Madrid. Correct me if I'm wrong. My question is, what about Rice coming to Chelsea? I'm Abajo from a Lego again founded in Uganda. Thanks for the program. More thanks to you for participating. I appreciate that. I think we'll move on from that. I don't know. Rice, I don't know the possibility. You want to talk about that, Roger, before we move on?
Yeah, I think you prefer pasta to rice, don't you?
So you know quite well.
Coach, guys, sorry, man,
Yeah.
I got to bounce.
All right.
IBZ, a pleasure as always, sir.
Yeah, man, you guys big up, man. Are you going to be on tomorrow, Coach? You doing?
Yeah, sure. It's a daily show.
All right, then I'll catch you guys tomorrow. If anything, man, you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Big up.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, bro. Roger, you wanted to say something else?
I actually I like Rice. Maybe I'm tainted. I don't know. Coach doesn't really. It's not his cup of tea per se. But I think he would be a good addition to Chelsea in many regards. Is he the perfect fit? No, I'm not saying he is, but we could be a lot worse off without him. Let's put it that way. And hopefully he can expand. Listen, he's in his prime now, isn't he? Like 26 or something. I forgot his age. But
Rice?
Yeah.
Should be about the same age as Mason Mount, I'm not sure.
Oh, is he really? I thought he was older.
Yeah, let me check, but go ahead. I'll check for you.
So, but he's either just entering his prime or a year or two away from his prime. So I think he can improve. And I think, he's a proven commodity in the Premier League. So we know that for sure. And
I think 24.
Is he really? Wow, I thought he was older. Okay, that's great. So that even bodes better. But I think he can be successful, especially with our squad. I think, don't forget, he has been primarily playing with a squad that I know they had a great season last year, West Ham, but I think compared to our squad traditionally, I think you will see a better Rice than where he has traditionally played. And he's a leader also, which bodes well, something that we need. So that's my opinion on him. I'm not saying he will be the fix for us, but I think he's an improvement of virtue over anything that we have. And I understand he's not a creative midfielder. He's a defensive midfielder, shall we say. But he can do well. I think he can succeed, in my opinion, with us.
Yeah, and here again, Rice and what 100 million. If West Ham accepts 60, then fine. But 100 million is just asking too much. I don't think we'll pay anything close to that. I don't think we'd actually pay anything north of let me just say 70. But again, thanks, Coach Gusto.
70 to 80.
Liao, Vlahovic, Sesko, Kolo, Moani are all future strikers. Family. Okay, thank you for saying that. You wanted to say something, Roger?
Sorry, yeah, I think 70 to 80. I think for Rice, this 100 million. I don't know. This is monopoly money, Coach. It's, as I said, I remember when my grandfather reacted to Nottingham Forest buying the first £1 million player. And my grandfather was like, couldn't believe it. Just couldn't believe it. Because the average price was 250,000. It's got obscene. That means that in 10, 20 years' time, you're looking at £1-2 billion players. This is not sustainable, gentlemen. I don't know, maybe I'm too old-fashioned, but from a financial standpoint, unless we get a quote-unquote a super league going, these prices cannot be sustained regardless of inflation. That's my opinion.
Yep. Okay. Here's the thing. Let me look at this again. It says Chelsea wants Malo from Fabrizio Romano. That's 36 minutes ago. PSG insists for Ryan Czeki. I think both players of Olympique Lyon. And again, Lauren Blanc, the current coach. Is it the current coach Lyon? I didn't know. Insists they're not going to leave in January. And he's saying the board has guaranteed to me that the players will stay until the end of the season, Blanc says. I don't think, even if he wants them to stay, I don't think the board will risk letting, again, especially goes to leave on a free in the summer. But let's see what they do. He says again, who says again, Mason Mount is worth 75 million. Yeah, I'm not going to go into talking about that. Again, I think Enzo would do a better job in midfield than Caicedo, and all the targets are considering his willingness to play for CFC. Yeah, I get that argument, but that's not a guarantee, really.
Yeah, but aren't they different, though, Coach?
Yeah, go ahead.
Caicedo is not a creative midfielder compared to.
No, he's not.
He's a box-to-box, isn't he? Basically, Caicedo is a box-to-box, and he's quite from what I've seen of him. He's. I don't want to say this in the true context, but he's similar to, shall we say, N'Golo Kante with regards to tackling.
Yeah,
he's more renowned. Yeah. He's more renowned for his tackling than he is for his creativity, and that's why I would call him a box-to-box more than anything, more defensive if anything than a box-to-box. But where Enzo is not a DM, a defensive midfielder, he's more of a creative midfielder. And he's not renowned for his tackling as much as Caicedo is. Wouldn't you say that's a fair assessment?
No, it is actually. Although Enzo has had good output in terms of completed tackles and all that.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he can't tackle. I'm just saying as much as. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, but even at that, that's not his strongest suit, if that makes sense to anybody. Let's see what else we have. Again, City are regretting Jack Grealish 100 million move. Guardiola wants to swap him with Milan's Rafael Leao. The risk that players have, again, the 100 million look at Lukaku. Here's the thing.
I disagree with that.
Milan would take. I don't think Milan would want to take. What's his name? I don't think they would take Grealish and give Messi to Leao. No, if they want Leao, they'd have to pay them the money. Caicedo is a destroyer. Yeah, maybe that's a better term for it. That's what he is really. Anything else to address here? Chelsea are considering a new bid for Enzo Fernandez. We approach the deadline. They are renegotiating and looking to offer players on loan. Wow. I don't know. You have anything, or Bobby? Anybody has anything to offer to this one? So I still would not count out again Chelsea going for Chelsea is still getting Enzo Fernandez. Remember, it was Sky Sports News that also kept. They didn't again when others were saying that Chelsea again it was all about we're all mentioning Arsenal's bid for Modric, that Arsenal he was going to go to Arsenal, never going to Chelsea. Sky Sports kept saying Chelsea are still considering. They're still considering Modric, and he ended up being Chelsea that got him. But Roger, I don't know, or Bobby, anybody want to add anything to that one?
I'm not sure how true that is.
Yeah. So, but let's see what happens. So by the time the window ends, maybe we'll get that sort of surprise we got in the case of what's his name? In the case of in the case of Modric. So let's see anything else. I think we've come to the end, a natural end of the show. Actually, get Caicedo first, then Enzo. Let me see what we have here. I mean, Moises Caicedo, I understood that was what you meant. It's not about me. Alegbele Oluwafemi. Yeah, it's not just about me. Go ahead. You wanted to say something, Roger?
Yeah, Coach. Hypothetically, if we don't sign any more players, how would you grade this transfer window? And all of you chaps. I would give it.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I would give it an A-. I think we've had an amazing transfer window compared to the summer.
I think we've made better signings so far than we've made in the summer.
Yes.
Yeah, we have. But the thing is that again, we know, even as fans, we're not the coach, but again, it's clear the issues we have in the current squad, with the current squad maybe, and the club haven't made any signings that will feel like will help us solve that problem. That's the only issue. But we've made some good signings. But we're expecting at least two more. One in the midfield area. Two of them again. One in the midfield area, one for the fullback position. If that makes any sort of sense to you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. My thing is, I didn't anticipate us getting. How many have we signed this winter? 5 or 6 players? I thought we would acquire.
I think 5 already.
Yeah, I thought we would get 2 or 3. I didn't think we'd get this many. And there's a strong possibility we're going to get at least one more person. So I think they've done very well. The brass, Vivell and Winstanley, etc. They've exceeded my expectations. Let's put it that way.
Yep, I gotta say they've done quite well. Let me see what else do we have here, and we'll call it a day. Again, come on, people, please build up the likes. Again, how many more to get it to 200? But we're getting closer, really. Again, 45 more. I don't think we'll get there, and we're about to round up in a few minutes. Come on, people. Yeah, keep liking the stream if you haven't, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. What do we have here? Oh, Moises Caicedo. Let's see what happens. Luke Pellegrini, are you joking? Messi Mount, yeah, you go ahead, slug it out with him. I'm not going to come in there. Fahmi Abdurrahman says again, good morning, coach. Again, the difference between buyout clause and release clause is that, again, in release clause, you paid the whole money. Yep, thank you, upfront. And again, and amortize through the payer contract. Buyout clause, no amortization. Wow, that's, again, I haven't actually paid attention to that, but thank you for educating us here. Again, that makes sense now. And this one says, again, can you imagine Caicedo with Santos again at double pivot for Chelsea? I wouldn't play them as double pivot. We need to mix it up a little bit more, if you understand what I mean. Luigi Pellegrini, you're very right. Again, please let's get Moises Caicedo, but we don't know what the club is going to do. 2 signings are still very short before the transfer deadline. I think you and I the same. I believe we're going to sign 2 players, one a fullback. Again, the question is, am I sure it's going to be Malo Costa? It may well be him. The club may well say, okay, if you want to keep him they would tell Leon, okay, if you want to keep him to the end of the season, you go ahead and feel like, okay, you know what? We can do what we have. We can manage what we have to the end of the season, if that makes any sort of sense. Again, I've got 6 players in this window, with Felix being on loan, and there's a chance we will make it a permanent deal. You never know. So, Roger, your thoughts? Do you think we're still, again, like Phil says there, again, 2 signings at least before the transfer window shuts? Because I'd say yes to that statement right there. Because
I'm not sure about 2. I'm hoping for at least 1. And that
one
position,
in what area?
Honestly, right back. More than the midfield, I believe. You know, I understand that we need more creativity, especially for the new players that we have acquired, and we need to have more of a link between defense and offense. I get it through the lines, you know, and we don't have that. That's what we're lacking. I understand you identifying that, and it is. But having said that, we cannot afford to lose James once more. We must have a person that has the technical ability in crossing and also a defensive ability to tackle and be more defensive minded. They have to be in equal proportions, defensive and offensive, which James is for the most part, I would say, you know. So I believe that once we lose James, which we have done, you could see the team drop in performance, not as much as a Kante, but close to it. And therefore, I believe with the return of Kante and other people in the midfield, I believe that, touch wood, if we do lose James and we do have an able, you know, alternative player, rotational player, then you will see the drop off will be minimalized. That is my logic.
Yeah, I think, like I said, but I don't see the club, the transfer window shut without us getting one midfielder, one more
Really?
again, one more midfielder because we've gotten one already, and
Do, do,
also again a right back a player. But if that again, I think that's what's going to happen. But let's see what the club does.
do you think they've identified midfield more so over right? You think
Sure,
that there's a better chance, yeah? Which no,
yeah,
it's
sure.
fine.
I'm sure they
Yeah.
have plan A, B, C, D to E. Actually, you can't
Oh
just go
yeah.
into the market hoping to
No, of
sign a
course not.
particular player. What happens if you can't?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, I
yeah.
get it.
Mhm,
In the NFL, it's called a draft board, where you have so many scenarios,
mhm.
and they're well prepared for any type of, hypothetical scenario. So and they literally spend, months and months preparing themselves for this eventuality. So I get it.
Yeah, and that's sure. That's something that with an entity as big as Chelsea, you don't want that risk where you're gonna hoping for just one particular player. When it doesn't work out, then you're in serious trouble.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what you call putting all your eggs in
we're
one
just hearing it
basket.
again. The club's top priorities again, top priority players and all that. Go ahead, Roger. You were saying something.
Yeah, that's the saying. You put all your eggs in one basket. That's suicidal. Yeah, I get it. But so do you believe that when the window closes, that we stand a better chance of landing a midfielder than we do a right back? It's probably a strong possibility. I get it.
Um, Given that again, if Melo stays at the end of the season, he gets to leave on a free. I think Leon wouldn't risk it.
Yeah.
Um, because 35, nearly 35 to nearly, yeah, it's something in the region of 35 million is not chicken change.
Wow. It's a lot of golf balls, coach.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think they probably let him go. I think they're just trying to see if they can convince us for him to finish the season with them. I think that's all they're trying. I don't see them risking keeping him without them getting again a sizable fee for his sale because he's again what a talent he is really if you've watched him play. Have got the six players in this window with Felix being on loan. Thank you so much for saying that. Is there a done deal for Chelsea on that midfield? Again, it's beyond those players. I'm sure you know we've signed. We haven't heard anything else. Coach Biskin, why do you always start Kai in every match? Me?
Oh, nice one. I like it.
Yeah. Again, I believe we should try Dacho Fofana in front of our next match. I think Dacho will get his chance. If it's
He's
in the
young.
club's plan for the rest of the season, he will get his chance. But one thing is sure, I'm going to say this again. Young players, you want to keep them hungry. You don't want to make them feel like they've arrived. No matter
But
how.
you know what, coach, though, you
Mm,
know what, though, when you've got 10 minutes left, and with all due respect to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, you know he's not the future of Chelsea. Why are you bringing on Pierre-Emerick as opposed to Fofana with 10 minutes left in the game? This is something that I question unless he has a knock on him. But then why is he on the bench in the first place? So
I
why
honestly, yeah, go ahead.
this is something that I question with my client Potter. I
Mhm.
really do, seriously. If you can't play for 10 minutes, you shouldn't be sitting on the bench. It's simple as that.
And I was going to say, I was going to ask you that question
It doesn't
because
make sense to me.
we're talking about your client. It doesn't make any sort of sense, but probably he respects experience over talent,
Sure,
maybe.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
get that. And he's under pressure, and results are immediate. They need it now, not tomorrow. I understand that concept. And have I been in his shoes? Of course not, because it's a results-based industry. I get that. But having said that, this chap, his legs are for all intents and purposes gone. Pierre-Emerick, I'm talking about,
Mhm.
and therefore, he's not the future. He's probably not going to last past this season, in all likelihood. Then why not give the small amount of experience, 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 5 minutes there, to Fofana, in the hopes that when you do progress into next season, he has something to go back on and actually consume and relate to, and say, you know what, I've seen that, I've been there, I've done that, and he won't be as nervous. This It's just nonsensical to me. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, again, I agree with you, really. Let's take a look at this one. I wanted to do something else quickly. Again, this says, again, Chelsea are understood to be pushing for Gusto and will be undeterred by Jean Michael's all his comments. Yeah, I know that. That's very common. Somebody did pull up something showing it. That's what that's what they do. I want to share something quickly about Romeo Lavia, why I think we should go for him. Do you know him that well to speak about him, Roger?
No, not really.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
He was a former Manchester. He's just 19. Was an academy product of Manchester City. Just 1 second. Let me do this.
Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Southampton. He plays for Southampton. At 19, look what he's won. Let's look at it. I really do. Again, he's one player I think is underrated. He's of all the players who are linked with, Caicedo hasn't won anything really, except if he won in his home country maybe. But in the Premier League, nothing. Who again are linked to Enzo? I'm not sure about his trophy cabinet. I'm not well acquainted with this trophy cabinet. But let's look at this one here. Look at it again. This guy is one. I'm sure this is the Premier League, isn't it? With Manchester City. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. On the 21 Premier League. This one, English Youth Champion, English Youth, English Youth League winner. But this one is Premier League. Yep, English champions. That's the Premier League. So he's won all these trophies at his age. So we don't give him. A lot of people don't give him kudos for that. All they know is that he's 19, and his market value should be around 25 million euros. But I don't think that's just for this website because Southampton will give you some price. His contract expires in 2027. So I don't think it come anything again. It'd be nearly twice as much as what we're seeing here
in today's market.
Yeah. My point is again, he's a good player. He's just 19, but he has that winning mentality. It's not just the youth competitions that he's won. He's won the Premier League with Man City. And have you watched him play for against Southampton? I think he's a brilliant talent, really. We'll move on from that. But I don't know. What do you think? Shouldn't we be going for a player who's had that mentality already, that in him?
He definitely fits the criteria, not just because of his age, but I mean, how much would he cost, though? This is the bottom line. Southampton, they're going to want more than 25, I'm sure. What did they pay for him originally? Do you know?
I'm not sure how much they paid for him, but here's the thing: before the summer transfer window shut, we went in towards the end of the window and bid for him. They rejected it.
How much? Do you remember how much we bid?
I think it was 50, around 50. I think who was
that
reviewed it? Was it Fabrizio Romano or that? Yeah. So yeah, I think I remember that quite well.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, he's not going to come cheap because he's such a talent. Plus, his trophy cabinet at his age isn't something that, it doesn't come easy, really. I've read this one again. I'm not the one that picks the 11 that starts matches. 20 again. 3-2-4 says at least we need 2 more signings. The right back and the midfield. Everybody knows that. Why are they not doing it fast again? Because all the teams will hijack them in the summer. I think we have to be cautious as to how much we spend. Just 1 second. Okay, I'm looking at an update here. I think it's just recycled. I think it's something we've seen before. With all these again signings now, we wouldn't need to sign any in the summer. I don't think so. There still be the need to sign in the summer. Retirement Mishra says again, why don't they scout from our academy? Chelsea Academy is one of the best. But we don't have the profile of players in the academy to help fill in those positions. I'm sure if we had any, they'd be looking at. If we have any, they'd be looking at the academy right now. Graham is our problem. I don't think he's taking us anywhere, Coach. Love you too, Simon Ibit. Well, when they hear his name, that's a first for everything. Just give him to the end of the season, then we'll have enough sample size to judge him. Remember again, Dujan Starling. I remember him. He's on loan right now, isn't he? Did he get injured or so? But that's by the way. But really, let's bring it to Romeo Lavia. I think he's a player I want to see at the club. If we don't even, I wouldn't mind us getting him and say, you know what, let's get him. Let's forget about Caicedo. I know some people will argue otherwise, but I don't know. Richard, you have anything else to add to that one?
You prefer him over Caicedo?
I haven't watched him. I think he just seems as if he's more mobile. I don't know if that's the correct word I'm looking for. I have to pay attention again.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind him. Let me just put it that way.
I haven't seen enough of them, actually, of both of them to be an expert on it, I must confess. But I think Caicedo, because the age difference isn't that much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like him that much, I mean, I'd have to see more of him. I haven't really seen much of him at all, if any. I think I've seen him in 1 or 2 matches. That's it, and that's not fair for me to pass judgment. But 15 million is a
which
lot,
of the two
coach.
do you prefer? Probably because you've seen you've already fallen in love with Caicedo.
Yeah, the more I see him, the more I like him, coach. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't that hot on him originally, but trying to think. I mean, I know you don't believe Caicedo and Kante can't play together, right? You wouldn't want that. You want
No, I
someone
wouldn't.
more.
I wouldn't want that. Even though
No.
Kante traditionally is an 8, but I will not do that. I have to be honest.
No, I get that logic. I remember our last conversation. You have indeed made sense. So small kudos for you, sir. Small one. But I would say, yeah, Enzo, I'm not sure whether his World Cup performance, can it translate into Premier League? That's my only thing. This is a lot of money. And assuming that
Enzo isn't soft.
No, but as I said, I've only seen the World Cup. I can't remember watching him for Benfica. I really can't remember watching a game and saying, "Oh wow, he stuck out." I remember I did watch the game, but didn't they play Celtic earlier on this year? There was one team that played Celtic where one player stood out. I don't believe it was him. I can't recall. But in the World Cup, yeah, I watched him, and he did perform very well. I mean, not sure he deserved that Young Player of the Tournament award, but it's a lot of money. And how much did they buy him for? I mean, they're going to make a killing on him. I think without the World Cup, let's say the World Cup was next year, I think he would go for maybe 70 to 80. I think it's extortion. But he may indeed turn out to be worth it. Listen, if we got Enzo right now in this window, I'd be very happy indeed. I mean, you'd have to be a fool not to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have small reservations on him, small amount. That's all. I'm just being honest here.
To be honest, at just under 200 million, Enzo will have to do what Messi does.
Yeah.
I can't see that deal progressing. It doesn't make sense to me.
Is that the sticking point, the taxes, really, for 60 million more pound?
Yeah.
That's exorbitant.
I don't know what the sticking point is. The sticking point is they want this all in a lump sum.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, I don't believe.
That's the issue. And, is he Messi? No. Is he, I don't see how this can progress for Chelsea or indeed for any club.
I think it's specifically targeted at us. It really is. Yeah. I think they can take a long walk off a short pier, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. What's it worth? It's not worth it. It's not even a consideration. It's such a ridiculous request that I can't see. Well, it's beyond that. Now, unless it's not true,
who was
which
the
is
source
quite
on
possible.
this?
Sky Sports. This was Carve.
Bobby, just quickly, I know you haven't spoken of this. Go ahead. When you drop what you're saying.
Well,
go for it, Bobby.
Carve gave those figures and those reasons and that stance of Benfica.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't see a way forward. It's just not. It's a no-go. So in terms of what we know, that's why I said earlier, unless our scouting team have come up with somebody else that the sporting directorship and the manager can trust,
You would hope so.
we have to drop the money for Caicedo. That's all. In now we're talking about Lavia and so on. Is Lavia comparative?
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask you.
I don't know. I've only really
Comparative to
seen
Caicedo,
Lavia.
yes, no, but not comparative to Enzo.
Right.
Oh, if you think he's comparative to Caicedo, fine. I've only witnessed him in that game we played against Southampton
And
and
if you
lost there.
listen when I talk, there's actually more to his game than Caicedo. But go ahead.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then fine. The hype makes a lot of these players. I think a lot of hype has helped make Enzo as well. He has a romantic sort of name and, this sort of exotic name, and, people link them with, greatness on the football pitch. No doubt he's a very good player, but just under 200 million,
No.
I don't see that at all. And if anybody can pay that, well, good luck to you, really. Caicedo, another one, nice player, very, very important, very good in the Premier League. Is he better than Lavia? I really don't know. I've only really paid attention to Lavia when he played against us, and he was
Yeah.
very good. Physical, direct, good on the ball. He was very good in that game. So maybe you're right, coach. But then we need to make a move. Are we holding on to get Arsenal to spend more money on Caicedo and then move for Lavia? Okay. Or are we going to go for Caicedo? All I know is that come the end of deadline day, we need to make a move and get somebody in the Chelsea midfield for sure.
Yeah, Zidane isn't coming to Chelsea. And Bobby, here's another issue with Lavia. Man City has a first refusal clause. He's the academy product.
Ah.
Well, Man
So
City don't need him, do they?
they may, they're
Well, they want to
losing. What's his name? One of them will be living on a free in
They
December.
want to rebuild their midfield, from what I've heard
Yeah,
this
and somebody's
off-season.
leaving or will leave on a free. He hasn't extended. Was that Bernardo Silva? I think so.
Yes, it's Silva.
Yeah.
A Portuguese
So
player.
and again, and they know that he's such a talent. They had to add that option. Yeah,
Well,
he had to leave. He didn't want to wait like Foden did.
well,
You
the
know, he's
question.
Belgium, and there's that confidence about them. They can from a young age they have so much confidence in themselves. They're not the ones that you can keep like that and they wait. But go ahead.
Well, have we posed the question? The question needs to be
We
posed,
tried to
isn't it?
sign him. We went in with a let-minute bid last summer. It didn't work, but there's no clarity as to why that didn't work. Nobody knows, and it was revealed later that he was a mystery midfielder we went in for with 55 or 50 million pounds, and it was rejected. But go ahead, Bobby.
Okay, I mean, if I remember rightly, it was rejected because it came in so late that they didn't have any room to respond. You could say that could be the same scenario here, but if
Mm.
it was, if it wasn't rejected because Man City want him, couldn't have been, or he'll be in Man City now, unless I've misunderstood what first refusal is.
That's what I'm saying.
First,
I'm not sure. We're not sure why it was rejected. There's no clarity as to why.
well, then
But go
go
ahead.
for it again. There's no point. All this timidity. If he is a player we want, we go for it. What's the worst they can say? No.
Then we should do it now or before it gets to the dying minutes
Exactly.
of the
Exactly.
transfer window.
That is if that's what we're looking at. I personally think we're still hovering about Caicedo, and it wouldn't surprise me if we make a move. That makes more sense to me now at this point than anything else.
Mhm.
It's just that it's expensive, but in my view, that deal can be stretched over a period of maybe 7.5 year deal. Um, it seems more doable the more I think about it than anything else. Yes, Arsenal have come in. There are rumours of personal terms being agreed, which I doubt. And
Has that been made public?
no, it's all on Twitter.
that
Twitter's
doesn't
pumping
count.
out. Some guy, the same guy on Twitter, was saying that Chelsea have made a 70 million bid, and all. You're going to get all this.
And we signed Messi, right? Yeah.
You're gonna. Well, it's not impossible that they will make a 70 million bid. Have they made it now? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So that's the one that looks achievable, and that's why I think we have to go for it. I've already forgotten about Enzo. I think the demands, if it's true that these are the demands, are completely unreasonable, and there comes a time where you simply have to walk away. Why keep? It's like you approach, those of us back in the day that used to go out clubbing and so on. You approach a young lady and she says no, and maybe you try again and she says no. After a while you walk away because she ain't gonna go your way, and you start to look silly. So
flashbacks, Bobby.
So yeah. I speak from experience. So you just walk and keep walking.
Do not turn around, Bobby.
Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. So
hit the road, Jack.
So when you've been rejected, you accept. You've got to at some point accept it. And to my understanding, there's no bigger rejection than these impossible demands that Benfica are putting in the way for Enzo.
They're obscene.
Yeah.
They're actually laughable.
Right. Let me catch up with the side, and I think with that, we're going to have to end the show. Bobby, were you still talking? Sorry.
No. In fact, I want to get a bit funnier on this topic of being rejected. I remember once as a kid, there was this girl I was after. She kept telling me she wants to wash her hair. And I'm thinking, crikey, this hair of yours that you're washing, isn't it clean already? But, I was really young, very naive at the time. It took me a while to really, in fact, somebody had to explain to me that, look, this chick ain't coming your way, bro.
Just move on.
She's just trying to let you down nicely. And when the penny dropped, I was like, okay, all right.
I've been there.
So this is what yeah.
All right, let me catch up with the chat and we'll call it a day. This one here is Zidane and coming to Chelsea. If anything, I think he's considering going back to Juventus, his former club, or Real Madrid for a second stint there. Third one, because he came back. He came back the second one, I think twice. But that's, by the way, if there should be any sign in the summer, it's a striker and a goalkeeper. Maybe not a goalkeeper, because what here is Slonina isn't going anywhere. That he's staying with the team. Rafael Pimenta. I'm thinking again. That's Rafaela Pimenta. That's the Francis agent who took over. She took over from Riola. To UK to hold talks with Chelsea, Newcastle, and Manchester United over Denzel Dumfries. A price tag of £13 million is needed. That's your quoting Gazeta.it. Okay. Zidane not coming, and we know that. Thank you. Again, if there should be any in the summer, it should be a goalkeeper. I think you've posted that before. Yeah, but like I said,
Coach, sorry, I wasn't aware of that. So Slonina is not going on loan. Gabriel
No,
Slonina.
He's not going on loan. That's what we heard.
That's very good news for him.
Yeah. So probably they trust him.
And that bodes very well.
Mm-hmm.
Because to have faith in someone that young in this position, more than anything, I know for an outfield player that age isn't that young, but for a keeper, that's being a fetus.
Yeah. Enzo is a long-term lasting midfielder, but we don't know what happens. We have a few days, then we'll have a clarity. We'll see everything, have everything in front of us. My Chelsea needs, again, good midfielder. We do. Again, Salem Akinde Rock, thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. Regarding Enzo, as much as we look forward to more reinforcements, we shouldn't forget the FFP which so far we have been able to walk around despite our present signings. We don't want another ban. Thank you so much. We really do not want another ban. Zidane to Chelsea is a no. It's never going to happen. This season, we have had a lot of rotation. We don't even know our first 11. Tell me about that. There's something about Kovacic. He was playing well during World Cup. He has really dropped. Maybe he wants to leave. The only way we can get Enzo is Benfica finally agreeing to negotiate with us on the payment structure. Else, nothing is happening this window. Yeah, we've learned that. Caicedo is more likely to happen. Let's see what the club does. Big up to you too, Steve Chelsea. I hope you're doing well. Eyes on this price is Enzo. Out of target is Caicedo. We don't just want anyone. Chelsea diehard, again, good observation about Kovacic during the World Cup. He was literally good. Maybe it's down to who, again, his pairing at Chelsea Football Club. That may well be the issue. I recommend.
Head and shoulders.
You know what that is, right, Rich?
Yeah.
Treatment washing, and it's referencing Bobby's story.
That's bloody funny.
I recommend Head and Shoulders. Yeah, crikey.
That's a good product.
If I was
really.
quick-witted enough at the time, I would have said that, to be honest, because I kept hearing too much about this washing hair.
Oh my goodness. Let's move on. Really,
beautiful game. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good product, really. Smash that like button, people. About 29. 29 more likes to get it to 100. I don't think that to get it to 200. I don't think we're getting there.
We should.
The next one. It has a one. It is. I don't want to highlight that because I'm not sure. Coach, would you want to see who? I'm not sure the name.
Vlahovic, whatever.
Is that the player? We need a right back again. At the moment, we can get a midfielder and a striker end of the season. Let's not be in a rush. They have to. I think they recognize the importance of, again, securing a Champions League spot. If not, again, it will hit the club's pocketbook will be hit badly. Plus, again, if we don't get money from there, you could say it compounds the possibility of us getting into trouble with the FFP. We need Champions League football, but I still think it's possible. Chelsea is my dream team to play for one day. I hope you get the chance if you're a footballer. Just keep working hard. That your dream will come true eventually. Bobby, any final thoughts on everything we've talked about today? Oh, Roger, you go ahead. But go ahead. He's here.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on everything we've talked about.
Well, this is crunch time, isn't it? We have to make our midfielder move within a day or two, probably even today. Let's wait and see what happens. It would be unlikely that nothing happens, not advisable. However, not the end of the world. We have to have faith in these guys. They know what time of day it is. They know what is needed for the club. And I think the right back, well, we know who we're chasing. I don't know what's happening with that, but I think for the midfield, they have to go in strong and hard and drop the money for Caicedo.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think I still do believe we'll get in two more players. Roger, how about you? Your thoughts on everything we discussed today?
As usual, sadly, I agree with my good friend Bobby here. I don't believe we're going to be held ransom for Enzo. I think that they're strong enough to walk away from that. I believe, unless they are absolutely told, no, this guy is worth 200 million by Vivell or whomever, which I doubt it. So I think we're disciplined enough to walk away. You know what? If we don't acquire any more players in this window, I'd still be happy with this window with the amount of quality and numbers we have. But our priority should be, as Bobby, I believe it was Bobby that said earlier today, or was it yesterday? I forget, that we do need, we have to try to at least make top four. at the very least top 7 and do well in the Champions League. And to do that, we need an acquisition of one starting midfielder. I think anything less than that, that would not bode well. It behooves us to try to get Caicedo. It really does. I think we stand a good chance, Coach. I really do.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you, really. I think, again, with that, we've come to the end of the show. I want to say thank you to everybody. Liam Lane didn't stay to finish the show because he had to go take care of something. To everyone else in the chat, to Chelsea Diehard, to Brooklyn Rain, I think Chelsea should try James in the midfield. He's capable of playing that.
Yes.
And to Chelsea Diehard, thank you again. Thank you to Bobby. Thank you to Roger. Thank you to Chinedu Abiagam. Thank you to my brother, the beautiful game. Much love, much love. Again, no red cards for us today. I think we did well enough. A good game, lads. No yellow cards. Well done, boys. Orange segments and Jaffa caked on. All around. And DJs, again, to my brother, Steve Chelsea, big up to you, brother. Nice one. Again, I appreciate you all. See you guys again. I think most likely, I'm hoping I get the chance to, there'll be, again, an evening show today because we have just a few days to round off. So anything can happen anytime. And we want to be kind of one of the first to bring it to you. So with that, we've come to the end of the show. I'm going to say thank you. God bless us all. See you guys for the next time. Let's say during the next show. Not sure when. God bless us all and bye.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.